It is literally freezing down here. It's been a while since I put out any new videos here. It's probably been a week or so. I've been moving in a big move, and so I had to move my gardens and everything. So that was a big move. So I apologize that you had to wait for me to tear into these things. And then I've been going through some detoxing. Got me a couple of good watermelons yesterday, and I put them out on the porch this morning. They were almost froze, but that didn't stop me from tearing them apart. Well, good morning, everyone, and I hope that this finds you all very well. I hope your journey is doing well, and hope you're all happy. And that's the most important thing, is to get your joy back, and whether it's physical health or spirituality or the combination of both. And I like the combination of both because you can't separate yourself from yourself. It's always you, no matter where you take your body. You notice you're always dragging along with the body for the most part, and or bodies, should I say. I think it's important that we get accustomed to the fact of how we are put together. And how creation is put together. Shouldn't offend anybody religiously. The simple making of creation, how the mental worlds are the next step down out of the infinite, out of the all, where you have the mind which controls creation basically, and works in dualistic terms. And so I hope you all find well. I was meditating over the weekend, and I had a good dissertation for you spiritually, but it's so cold. My mind is kind of freezing over in the corner, so I thought I would try to catch up on some of these answers. I think I have the morning with you, but I'm not sure yet. See where we're at. I wanted to thank a lot of you guys for your love and support. There's no question. This beautiful card is from Yaz. And Yaz, you know I love you, bro, on all levels. I love all of you guys. You're all just outstanding, beautiful souls to me. And I want to thank you, and I want to particularly thank those that are doing the Facebook. I'll break in on that here soon. But I wanted to thank you all for your taking your time and putting this together, because there's no question this planet needs a good enema or a colonic, and getting the consciousness up. You know, I was looking at Whitney Houston, and this is probably going to be another pharmaceutical death. But it's okay. Just another pharmaceutical death. But, I have to admit, we all have to take full responsibility for our actions. You have to understand that just because something's on the market, your responsibility is, do I take it or not? And the problem with is there's so many trusting souls out there. And I feel sorry for these. Are just good, loving, trusting souls that, yeah, okay, this is good. You made it. It shouldn't hurt me. And that's the problem. And so it's just the same old day, same old thing there. And this is another beautiful card here. I really appreciate that card. I don't know if I should mention too many names. Paulette, beautiful, beautiful card. I just love what you said there. Steps toward inner peace. She gave me this little steps toward inner peace. When you start looking at life in a way, we tend to shut out the outside and go within. And that's the nature of it, whether you call it prayer. But a lot of times we associate prayer with conversation, where we're asking for something. And unfortunately, those that realize that it all comes through you anyway, you don't have to ask. And there's a lot of that going on, where meditation is more listening. However, after a point, when you're working in the now, there is no more inner or outer. The inner and the outer merge and become the self again, and all becomes God again. So just keep working in the now. Anytime you separate yourself from yourself, had a lady in the other day talking about my soul, and I said, well, wait a minute here. You've got a soul, yeah. I mean, well, who are you then? You know, and that's you kind of had to think a minute. You know, and this is the thing is where the mind isolates and separates, and you tend to get away from who you really are. So important to work in that now and practice in the presence of always observation, because observation, of course, is consciousness, and you get to see a lot more and know a lot more if you just hang. And it seems a little odd just to hang, but really there's nothing to be said about anything. There's squabbles going on here in different levels and stuff, and you know, it just doesn't matter. I mean, you can argue all you want about health and this is right and that's right and we should do this and we shouldn't do that. However, I think that we've shown and demonstrated that in a simplistic manner, health is easy to understand and you know, and it's achievable. And I find it ironic that one has to say achievable because some people are way out there in their lymph systems and in their genetic weaknesses. And you have to understand that when you're aware of your own, so many people in here become aware of their own weaknesses and the amount of lymph toxicity that they've accumulated, and it isn't always pleasant to understand that. So it's not important in the sense that it shouldn't take your joy away from you. These are just bodies you're using, and you really need to forget about it and just focus on health and enjoy the ecstasy of raw foods and the high level of fruit and berries and melons and what that does to your consciousness. It's amazing the difference. I think a lot of you are finding that out. So, you know, when you demonstrate in clinical work like this over and over again that people have remedy. Look at some of you guys that haven't been able to walk well for years, and now you're walking, and so many people are out of pain, and some of you are going through real hellville to get to Wellville, no question about it. My heart's with you. And there are some advanced people that might not be able to make it physically, and there's a couple of you guys that are on the cusps of staying here or leaving. You have to understand that you must get a hold of yourself and make your joy yourself, because in leaving, you're simply going to another form, another world where you'll have even more fun. So we're so much fear about translating from leaving this body and going to the next dimension. But one must let go and go with joy and bliss and know, you know, get right with yourself and with God, because the other side of us is a way station. The other side of what we do here is help you pass. If it's time for you to leave this planet, then it's time for you to go. Then go and have fun. We'll be with you. You have plenty of spiritual guides out there that work with us, and every one of you guys. Sometimes they're always in the background. But if you'll look around, you'll find your spiritual guide. And so enjoy both things. Always enjoy the present, no matter where it puts you. In the physical world, in the astral world, in the mental worlds, the more you that you can become. And there's no guidelines. There's no image for you to become to. That's the mind. You can only exist and be in the now. And so it's a trip. But the more that you do that, your survival, conscious-wise, is assured. You know, it's all about being aware or unaware, awake or sleeping, because you are always you. You can't lose yourself. You can't kill yourself. You don't die. You simply move from one arena of activity to another arena of activity, and it's not going to be strange for those, because all of you have astral bodies. All of you, you'll see your friends. All of us are everywhere. We have multiple bodies, all within the dimensions here. So have fun on that. So thank you so much. The dates, I love the dates. And that big box of oranges and all the little and sundry fruits, man, suck those babies down. So I want to give my love to every one of you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So much of your love, and I hope this finds you all well. So at this time, I'd like to go through some of your questions. Again, I'm so far behind, I doubt if I'll ever be able to catch up, because it takes a while to explain some of these issues. And I'm hoping that you don't get frustrated with that and understand that each case that we go over is a case study, and important for you as a healer to pick up that, because you'll have everything from simplistic cases like, pneumonias and, cold and flu-like symptoms and bites from spiders and stuff like this, all the way to, the diabetes and things, which isn't difficult, and then move on into, your more difficult lymphatic problems. Arthritis can be a very chronic problem that takes you a long time to unwind. So you have to look at some of these things and not get frustrated. Just get all your knowledge in order and get your tools, and then go for it, and quit trying to keep getting more tools. It can go nuts. And David Wolf and some of these other people, Harvey Diamond is a good example of people that get excited about raw foods and then they waver and take off on another path, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with any of us wavering and going to another direction. I have no judgment at all, because this world's a tough world, and a lot of stressors on every levels. And you have, of course, the multiple bodies, so you have stressors mentally, emotionally, and, of course, physically. So there is no judgment. The teamwork that we offer the world here is the ability to get well both physically and spiritually, and I think that's essential, that we work together, and we'll iron out our differences. Someone did ask me while I was thinking about a spider bite, someone asked me, what'd you do if you got bit by a rattlesnake? Well, I'll say this: if you're out in the woods, always take a lymphatic formula with you. Particularly lymphatic 1 is good, but any of them, but lymphatic 1 would be my prime choice. Anything that I have a lot of plantain in, but all the lymphatic formulas are definitely for neurotoxins and cytotoxins and things like this. So definitely would consider that. I think Parasite M would have some anti-venom issues to it as well. But definitely your lymphatic formulas, or something high in plantain. But all of those are similar. Bloodroot, poke root, all of those are very powerful. We get a lot of recluse spider bites in here. The hospital just pumps them from antibiotics. Well, these are neurotoxins and things, and so cytotoxins, you're not going to use antibiotics and do well, and they don't do well. They come in here with big problems, and we clean them up fairly quickly. Not difficult, really. And so that would be true with any type of even aggressive bacteria, where the body has decayed to the point that you become quite a host. Then obviously you can go by and always think about the lymph system. Seems oversimplistic, and I'm a broken record when it comes to that. And I really, I hope I am a broken record, because if you get it, your whole life will be changed in what you can do with others and what you can do with yourself. Way too much attention on the blood and very little on the lymph system, and you guys are the king of the lymph now. So understanding that lymph system and the role of the kidneys, I think, is vital. No matter what their theories hit you, realize the role of the kidneys, because if you forget the kidneys, you'll lose your health there. So always remember that. So let's kind of go into some of these questions, and I hope you're all warm and cozy, because it's still a little cold in here. We didn't turn on the heater. This is your, I'm sure, Ajaz, this is, you're addressing someone here. I kind of sound like I'm in the middle of something. This is Gala Mama. Gala Mama. Dr. Morris, I hope all is well. I have a few questions regarding fruit fasting in kids. Is it okay to put a child on a fruit fast? Absolutely. Absolutely. Really, when you think about it, we call that a fast. But in actuality, it's simply eating frugivoriously. actually. So really, you're not starving anybody. All the fruit and the berries are where all the nutrition is, really, in my opinion. All the high flavonoids, everybody seeks the vitamin C complexes and the like. Well, just eat your fruits and your berries, you know. And the more we impress on our society and farmers the need to have better food, maybe we'll wake them up too, you know. But putting your child on a fruit fast is really just giving them the foods their body's designed to eat, you know, really. My cousin has had her 7-year-old autistic son on 100% fruit for the past 2 weeks, and she wants to know if she should keep going. Absolutely. Fruits and berries, you can make them smoothies, use a lot of blueberries. Absolutely. I mean, you're pouring nutrition into this boy here. If you want to supplement with some God's blend, that's okay with me too. But when you're autistic and you got a lot of neurotoxicity and neurological weaknesses from the adrenals, she's doing exactly what she needs to do. Now, I would take off with his adrenal glands, whether you use a glandular or you use an herbal. You're going to find some low blood pressure there, and this is neurotoxicity on top of a weak nervous system. And there's a point where some of these children are going to be born with just weak nervous systems and doesn't need any thimerosal or any neurotoxin from vaccines or society to throw them that way. This is the problem. So I think you guys are really throwing a curveball out there that'll take these poor children away from this. This is a smart mother that's doing this with her son. He is sleeping better and his bowels are moving a lot better, but she wants to know how long it will take to see changes in his autistic symptoms. I don't know. I would keep working with that. I'd also work with brain and nerve. The new brain and nerve formula. I would also work with the adrenals. I'd also just do a lymphatic one and kidneys on him, you know, just to get that lymph system moving and clean his lymph system out. Obviously, his bowels wasn't moving well, so it might be another area to give him some bowel cleanup stuff. But definitely want to get into the brain and nerve formula, if not the upper circ with it. I use herbs as well. But again, this is going to be twofold, moving any neurotoxicity out of him, which is going to be a lymphatic experience, and two, just rebuilding the myelin sheaths, and whether we're doing CNS or ANS, doesn't matter. That's the central nervous system or autonomic nervous system. And go after the adrenal glands and stuff like this, and you will turn this young man on. Takes a while to build, but at 7 years old, this young man is in a good growth side. You might try Ultimate Immune on him sometime. That's, antler and ginsengs and stuff, and just do low dosages on him. That could be real powerful for this young man. The endocrine gland formula would be very acceptable in that it would pick up his pituitary, his thyroid, and his adrenals in a gentle way. So I really think that would be good for this young man. Is it okay to keep this 7-year-old 100% fruit for an extended period of time? Absolutely. Absolutely. I've done it. I've done it to a lot of children. But again, you're just feeding the foods that his body's designed to eat. And if you do, your darker grapes and your blueberries and, a lot of the bananas and stuff, it'll be a slower detox on him. But boy, you're pounding the young man with a lot of nutrition here. I would say coconut would be worthy to add, particularly in the earlier stages where fatty acids would be acceptable. But minimal, after age 2, the heavy fatty acid look isn't as good. It will alleviate his autistic symptoms, absolutely. You keep going. I mean, that's your goal. Think about health and work your child to it no matter how long it takes. I never know. Some children respond quite quickly and others still climb the wall for a while. You've got sometimes a lot of genetics to come back on and any neurotoxicity from vaccines and the like. I don't care what they say. It is well established it's a neurotoxin. And with way too many cases that show symptoms shortly after being vaccinated. So that's just one form of neurotoxicity. But our society has thousands of neurotoxins right now that we produced. World is better with chemistry, isn't it? Oh, unbelievable. Have you had any success with other autistic children in regard? Lots of them. Lots of them. Absolutely. It's the only direction you can walk in, if you think about it. Because if you understand that this is a neurological problem, obviously, right, and that the top neurological foods on the planet is not, excuse me, not vegetables, it's fruit, and also the little help from our friends, the botanicals, really go a long way. So really, you're doing just right. You're detoxifying and building. That's the neat thing about the fruits and the berries and the melons. They not only detoxify you, they rebuild your nervous system. So, as we go, I hope to get more people that are willing to put themselves up on YouTube. So far, it's kind of like this. Some people just don't want their thing out there. You have to understand that people just don't walk up to this. But as we go, we'll show you a lot of cases. So we don't just have one case here and there. We've got a ton of cases here. This is Linda Lou. I like that. Linda Lou. Yeah. Dr. Morris, you mentioned your friend Mutt often. I am not trying to be a jerk by bringing this up, but didn't he selfishly lie and cheat? A little bit. But the thing, I've known them for a while, and sometimes people aren't happy that seems like they're happy, you know what I mean? So I don't really throw blame anywhere. I think they'll do better separate. I think there's a point. Shania had a hard time with big groups, and you look at a lot of the creative people, you'll see the adrenals, and she's a very lovely person, but shyer than you realize. And Mutt's intense. Mutt is an intense man, and he needed to be to get where he's at. And but you know what? Things happen, and I just don't throw any judge. I don't lose my friends for stupid things they might do once in a while, and maybe they really needed to go their own ways, from what I could tell in the last several conversations I had, even with her. I did an hour-long interview on TV about that and how it devastated her. Yeah, it did. I got one of the first calls from her on that. And no, I didn't have any idea. Okay, marriage doesn't always work, but cheating, it says a lot about a person. Well, yeah, I just again, I don't judge that, because as soon as you judge that, someone might enter your life that you just fall heads and heels over, and might change you. I don't know. I just don't judge on those things too much. But it was a shockerooski to me too. I couldn't believe she said that. But, some of your harder experiences actually pan out better for you. And I think she's doing a lot better. She's keeping herself out of the active singing, though. But I told her she should go back into the bars like her friend Brian Adams, who's now going around acoustically without his band a lot. And I think he sounds really good. He's a kick-butt musician, and he called me the other day, and I went up and listened to him at B.B. King up here at Orlando. And, that's just kind of what's happening. A lot of the singers are going back to grassroots, and I thought Shania should do that. I think it'd be really neat, kind of intense for her in these big stadiums, at least what she told me. And so I don't know. I thought it was a pretty cool idea. Mutt did not like that idea at all. So I think there's controversy in that sort of thing, but that's their private lives. It's okay to mix herbs myself. Yeah, I purchased your Heal All tea, and in the package there was a pamphlet that listed the ingredients. Sure, I don't have much money right now. Well, make your own. This is NAIMAH. Absolutely. That's what I did. And mix them and play with them and have fun with them. Whatever we can do to enjoy the botanical kingdom, I really feel that they're due their proper respect, and that they've been shoved in the corner for so long. And some of the Chinese traditional medicine concepts are a little out there as well. I think if we get away from animal parts and things like this in that respect. Now, I do say that, and I use the glandulars. Some of you have had a chance, like Dimitri, to sit here and see the cases that we have, and it's pretty tough sometimes, and glandulars really do help us. So as long as the karma wheel's moving where we're raising and bringing these individuals for their purposes for that, I have to say that I'm going to ride with that, particularly as long as man eats that. when we start moving this whole movement away from the dead animal consumptions and all this, we start having stronger babies, it'll all die out. But again, judgment is a tough thing not to have, but we got to not have it. As a healer, I think, we have to look at the health of our fellow man and help him in that way. And then again, as time goes on, you guys might put together even stronger formulas that will have a much more kick-butt effect, and there might be a way around that. But as a rule, in terms of body parts and slaughtering animals, that's regurgitating. But it's just going to take some time for this planet to recoup this negativity. But again, the positive is coming up with it. So you can't just have, the pendulum does swing like this. But when I look around right now, everything's kind of going up. Spirituality's growing, but the negative forces are really keeping up. It's you've got to be really watchful in your consciousness, or you'll be consumed by these negative forces of thought and greed and backstabbing and gossiping and things like this. And this is just a little bit of how the negative forces pull you toward that side. Again, both sides, different sides of the same coin, understand that. And we're just here watching and observing and being involved in either side we choose. But as we awaken, we realize that it's just the game of duality and of creation, and that we're the experiencer, and that's where the true nirvanic experience is with the individual, and the joy that has after being separated so long from yourself, the union of yourself with yourself. Pretty exciting. It's like God coming home to itself again. Okay. This is the same question here on the fruit fast there. Hello, Dr. Morse. I've heard about you through my brother, and I believe that you are being good. Thank you, my friend. This is Revolution Man 2012. Go for it, my friend. That's just what we need. Let me see. One of my loved ones believes herself to have depersonalization, and I was wondering if you could supply me with the information she needs to cure this. Well, I think that, again, going after the health of the body, and particularly bringing your endocrine glands up. I think if you look at the endocrine glands, now I know a lot of Westerners sometimes freak out with the word chakras and things like this, but I think if you simply understand the body as a magnetic being that has energy centers, core energy centers that are part of the matrix of how the body works, and these core energy centers produce hormones. On the physical side, can produce hormones, steroids, neurotransmitters. On the inner side, if you want to separate from that way, they're like vortexes of magnetic energy of consciousness, and they're always emanating out and connection to the central energy of that particular world, like the solar plexus in terms of the causal world and the Akashic records, the id, the thyroid, the adrenals, the astral. And you'll have these similar experiences when each one of those glands dominate. You'll have a respective experience more in that world, because a lot of times we don't understand that when we're using our mind, we're not using a physical instrument. We're using the mental body. When we're using our emotions, we're using the astral body. The magnetic vortex in the physical body is related to the endocrine glands, or what the Hindus and the Eastern people refer to as chakras. This energy centers, and a lot of people play with kundalinis and stuff like that, and I always wonder why always play in the lower worlds again. Start at the crown and become that which is. Don't separate yourself like you and the journey, But she's got to grab a hold of herself. The best way to do it is head for the health side of the fence and keep trying to stabilize herself away into herself. This person needs to spend time alone by themselves without any TV or radio or anything like cell phones, computers, anything like that. They need to go do the Club Med thing, but by themselves, where they're the only ones there. And spend some time in that where they connect with themselves again, because you can't lose yourself. That's what you have to remember. The illusion is that you do. And so it's just refocusing your attention, and even beyond that, realizing that you are your attention. And so it's an intense look within, but without discriminatory eyes, so to speak. In other words, it's hanging out in the now, if you want to cut to the chase. We make journeys out of this, both in psychiatry and psychology and spirituality even. All the way from Nietzsche to Watts to Leary even. We make a deal of altering the consciousness or shifting ourselves from one area to another. You can understand that living in a very, this world is like a prison to consciousness, big time prison. But for God to accept its ability to survive in a prison, it has to do just like prisoners do. They have to accept the fact that this is the game. And of course, the more you accept the reality of the game, the more the game is reality and the less you are. And so it's really reconnecting to the game player, and she'll be okay. She can't lose herself, but she can perceive to lose herself for quite some time. But getting her or his body healthy would be the key. What's my opinion about dehydrators? This is Anna Marie, 2979. Hi, sweetheart. Everybody around here uses them. Me, I'm a simple guy. If it was me by myself, I wouldn't have a dehydrator. I pick, pill, and eat. That's my philosophy, basically, or chop and eat, however you want to do it. My kitchen would be quite simplistic, in terms of a bowl, a spoon, a fork, a knife, a cutting utensil, and that's about it. I'd probably have an orange juicer and a juice extractor, but I wouldn't have anything extensive, to be honest with you, in a dehydrator, but I've had some good dehydrated foods. But again, I think there is some alteration, but, it's a fine line. If you get into some of the stuff, though, you can start getting out of the realm of being good for you. Too many nuts and stuff like this. And that's going out there with some of these people pushing high nuts. But if you said that it's a step above meat eating, I'd agree with you. Definitely better to eat nuts than dead animals. No question about it. But I want to kind of keep this more to detoxification, because a lot of you already know what to push. Dan the Man, all these people are out there are pushing this. And that reminds me of the controversy about Dan and me and all this kind of stuff like that. It's like, someone used the word famous, and that's a word I don't relate to at all. I think that I remember Dr. Jensen and I were walking back from getting a bunch of awards in Portugal, and he looked at his wife and he said, just another one of these things, or something like that. And I looked at Brenda and I said, if I ever get that way, you take a 2x4 and you hit me upside my head, because it wasn't respectful, and he lost that, and that's not kosher. There's no such thing. I've been doing this for 40 years. I've had a lot of students in my life, and Dan's been one of them. But I consider Dan a personal friend. I consider all you guys I'm getting to know here my personal friends. Dimitri, all of you guys out there, all are my personal friends, and we're a team here. And so all the team players will just keep working for the goal of changing the consciousness on this planet, because after all, that's all that's important. Whether one is more recognized than another or whatever, who cares? Each has an individual job to do, and I think Dan did a good job with the raw foods and pushing that. I have to push this side of it to help you guys become healers. How you work with that's up to you. But this side is vital that one learn how to use the raw foods with the herbs, and how to know when to hold them and when to fold them, how to learn the art of detoxification. I think is very important. And that's my main focus here. Can't do it all, so I need every one of you to play the role of whatever you want to play with this, and work that out. You know. This is from German. Excuse me, Celt. So if green is healing and gemstones enhance potency, then would emeralds be the best for using in the herbs? If you are looking for a way to increase the power of kidney formulas for quick filtration, then why not use green bottles and gemstones in them? Well, that's an excellent question. I did want green bottles, as I told you. The problem, and I think we'll rectify it in the future, we'll be the only company that does, but is to procure them at a decent rate. Everybody already is complaining, the price of herbs. Well, let me tell you, if we put the price of what other companies do in terms of profit margins and stuff on quality and the 1 to 4 potencies that we pay for, then we'd be up around $30 easy. I told the company people that, and Jennifer that works for me years ago, and we've probably been the only company that took tooth pulling to raise our prices through the years, because we just felt that it's just trying to keep it down. So our profits have always been on the low side for a company. Somebody made the comment months ago that we own the company, we can play the prices. Of this person has no reality in what's involved in this. Just a ton of work. It's a whole nother huge operation to make these formulas for you and to put that out to you, and with the FDA and all the guidelines and stuff. So it's a whole nother level of activity and work involved in that. So it's tough, and so just people have to be aware of all that hard work. I would love to have green bottles. I've had this desire for years. When we start getting into gemstones and breaking them down, we're really in a very inorganic state, and that was my concern. Because when we use the word bioavailable, in other words, the ability of the body to utilize or to absorb and utilize, the more inorganic something becomes, or the more inert, if you will, even though these gemstones radiated a pretty good consciousness, the yet less bioavailable. With that said, though, as with the glandulars, there's a magnetic resonance there that is perceived by the human body, and that has a specific action in the human body, no question. So yes, they used to use gemstone years ago. The lady I was going to use to do gemstones kind of took another way out of the planet. She's still on it, but physically only. So I don't know where I stand with that. I would love to do that, but how much it would raise the prices of the herbs. The bottles that you have to buy in by the hundreds of thousands. So perhaps we will turn that corner for the future. Would love that, of course. But absolutely, anything you put in a green bottle in the sunlight, you're going to energize that puppy right on up. But orange is quite a healing color as well. Very powerful. It's symmetric. It's geometry. It's solar plexus. It's causal. Kashik. This is from Mun, Tyngo, fast, and it did not help. Which herbal formula would you suggest me taking to get the acne to go away faster? Some of you guys are dealing with some extreme acne problems. There's no question. I see this question brought up a lot. And so real important is hang in there. Do not get frustrated. You have to go swim in an ocean or find some salt water to help you, okay? Holding hot and cold compresses to the face or wherever you have would be helpful. Bathing in some salt water would be helpful. But again, this is how hard it is to move lymph, to get the adrenals up, the kidneys up, especially your younger guys and gals who are in genetic decline there considerably. Don't get frustrated. This is your doorway out. You'll see it more and more and more, so do not get frustrated. A lot of you already have eliminated your acne problems, but some of you have very chronic acne problems. Doesn't change the causative factors of it. It changes the amount of time you want to work on it. And so you'll find when your clients ask you how long it's going to take, which they typically will, which I don't blame them, You just have to give them generalities because you don't know. And as soon as I give someone a generality, it's like the lady with MS. I told her she could be walking in 6 months if she really kept it all fruit and berries. Well, it took her 7 months, and she kind of gave a laugh with that. But I've had people get mad because in 6 months they weren't walking or weren't doing this. And I said, well, I said, it could. I don't know. So I never know. A dear friend, you remember I said it's an osteopath. It's Lou Gehrig's, and I can't seem to get him at all. And I can tell you a lot of that has to be karmatic, because if you pull out all the stops, the body has to respond, and particularly even in neurological cases. And when you don't see a response, there could be a karmatic history to that. So as the person with the problem, in a genetic stance, you have to get rid of that problem. You have to let your karmatic things go. Well, it's hard to know what that is, because there's kind of a curtain pulled over your mind, because some of your past has been traumatic considerably, and your pictures are in the astral and causal world. So that's about living in the moment and allowing whatever comes through comes through. If you feel like crying, cry. If you feel like laughing, laugh. I had a quad once. At 1 minute she would cry, and the next minute she would laugh, and the next minute she'd cuss me out. It's just that ripping a part of that astral and getting that away from you, and getting these experiences to burn through, and you look at them with love and realize that they didn't hurt you. You let them hurt you. You stored them in your emotional bodies or whatever, but you only are hurt as much as you allow yourself. You got to get the strength of yourself going here, and not let the worldly, in terms of creation, affect you in any way. That's the job of the negative forces, to unbalance you, and they will do it. So you've got to be always watchful at the gate of the mind and of thought, because now that you're growing spiritually, now the ripping can occur. And don't get upset. It can rip you pretty good, because if you want to experience the infinite, you got to totally let go of the finite. And that includes yourself as a finite being. You've got to let it all go. It doesn't matter anymore. And it can be a state of nothingness for a while for you. But you've got to take that nothingness and do something with it. You've got to understand the self. And it's hard to explain how you do that. Very hard, but you first have to start realizing what the now means and what consciousness is, in terms of just the observed state of beingness. And you have to just keep working with that, even with little cliches like be here now, be here now. I used to repeat that to myself all the time, and just to get that mind to shut up, because my mind loves to travel. I mean, I've tore this apart for years. The problem is that when the mind takes over, you feel like you've lost your spirituality, because the mind is in creation, and it can take you down some negative roads sometimes in just thought processes. And that's why I don't judge Mutt or anybody else. It happened in the moment. That's the way it was, and maybe it needed to for the growth of Shania and the growth of Mutt. Sometimes you get stagnant together. So I don't try not to judge too much of that. I love them all, no matter what. Once I love you, that's all there is. I mean, I don't care what you do. That shouldn't deter from our love of anybody. What we do is what we do. Who we are is who we are. I need the broken record. I have a broken memory. Thank you. Thank you, Linda Lou. Thanks a lot, sweetheart. Yeah, I'm sorry about the broken record, but that's what's kept me from writing books before, and getting more active with this and waiting on this site. I actually, in terms of, I'm not a computer person. I'm not a YouTube and Facebook and stuff like this. It hasn't been my world. So this is why I haven't entered it earlier. Just not an area of focus. We never had the money to advertise too much, so between my school and healing people up and word of mouth is how we've grown. And through the years, we've been able to see a lot of people, and with the help of Mutt and Eileen or Shania and those people have helped us introduce other friends. Brian Adams, another good friend, has done that, and we've got a lot of people. Maroon 5, you saw them. We see one of them. Yeah, we see a lot of people. And even Kelly Clarkson is, we've never seen her personally, but her fiddle player is Shania Twain's fiddle player, and we work with him a lot. And he had her down on the floor with some lemon juice fast one time. Looked like she couldn't take it. But you know what? We're all here to help each other and to get well, and everybody has their own specialty, and give everybody space to interact. And I just, some things are just not as important as we give that energy to be. Life is always in flux, and I think in man, we feel like, and I see this a lot, and you see this in people that have been together 60 and 70 years, and you go, oh my God, that's incredible, but in reality, none of them are very happy. You know, they squabble all the time, they fight all the time, and I've talked to people that's been together 50 years that didn't like each other, but felt they needed to stay together for the kids or this and sort of thing, and I disagree with that sort of thinking. I'm not plugged into that. We're a soul, we're powerful beings. And if we let these little emotional experiences like being with someone else or not being with someone else take us off that spot, then we're going to have some lessons to learn until we get to that point, because this doesn't matter. This creation, this is an illusion. This is a playground. So what one does 1 minute or the next, our commitments to one another isn't a lifetime. We have religious thought that likes to lock these commitments for a lifetime, and we're locked to this person. I find that ridiculous. I've been with my significant other 32 years, but been a bumpy 32 years. So it's just that hard to change sometimes when you're really, really busy and everything's going on, But some relationships, they appear to be good that are not. So you just have to be whatever. But I'm for the individual and enjoying their journey in the moment. This universe is not static. It's always in flux. Don't expect one day to be like the last, and you don't want it to be. Or you get caught in this mundane activity of creation, and then you lose your joy and lose your happinesses. And always be spontaneous and in the now. Enjoy the moment for the moment and the beauty of all things, whatever you do in one moment to the next, and you'll be happier for it, I think. At least I am. Let's see, after months of hearing this, it's finally sticking, and it comes up at the appropriate times when I'm asking questions. Surprises me even when it comes. Love to you, Linda. Thank you, sweetheart. Love to all of you, matter of fact, but thanks, sweetheart. That's what I think, too. Is that sometimes things appear to be simplistic, but you tend to lose them, like the David Wolfs and some of these people. They lose it, and that's okay. I see that the Hippocrates now. They're losing it. They're going into digestive enzymes and probiotics, and they're going into supplements and things like this. Well, we dumped those years ago, but that's okay. That's their journey. I think my problem comes in with putting out information that might not be appropriate. Example, fruits are bad for you. I think that's not an appropriate comment, an appropriate thing, but I guess that's their opinion, and everybody has a right to their opinion. But thanks for the broken record, Linda Lou. This is Linda Lou again. I did the Great Fast for 20 days. Look at that, 20 days, man. You kicked butt, sweetheart. I'm proud of you. And had to stop because I was putting on weight rapidly. Wow. It could have been water weight, yeah. Could have been kidneys not filtering adequately. Absolutely, sweetheart. You could have put on some water weight. Could be an indication, again, of kidneys and the lymph not filtering. That'd be the indication I'd find with that, unless you notice muscle and it wasn't, edemic weight or, that sort of thing. Just finished the lemonade detox from your book. Boy, Linda Lou, you're kicking butt here, man. I have to say, sweetheart, I'm pretty happy about that. I was so hungry by the day 10 I stopped. I know. I tell you, the lemon is a butt kicker. Some of you outstanding stars there that take that on into the 30 and 40 days, you're just butt kickers, that's all. You're being commended on everything you do. If you do one day, so what? It's a step, and you did great. Do 2 days the next time. Keep playing with that. Don't beat yourselves up because somebody can do a 40-day and somebody can't. I don't judge that at all. I'm happy that you can do anything. It just makes it all better. Maybe you have to take baby steps. So what? No judgment here. Surprised me I was still having BMs in the AM. Yeah, you can go right on up there. And if you take the stomach and bowel form, you can still get stool out in the 20th day. By day 8, 9, and 10, I drank 4 quarts a day to hold off the hunger barely. What should I do and not start? That's okay. You don't have to drink more. I would say just keep working it. Break it and come off and keep working it that way. You can do that. I'm using the Heal All the Herbs along with it. Yeah, you just keep working with this. I want to do it again. It really helped the arthritis pain in my hands. Isn't that pretty cool? Even the lemons did that. So pretty good. And that's what you have to do, Linda Lou. You're doing beautifully, sweetheart. Proud of you. You keep pulling on that lymph, moving those acids out, moving those acids out. Arthritis can be a chronic way to go. Could take you a year or more. Don't get frustrated. You hang in there and you know the journey. You just keep pulling. Good work. And you just keep getting that arthritis pain, and one day you'll look down and it'll all be gone. So just keep hanging in there. You might have some healing crisis where it feels worse before it feels better. Okay, that's detoxification. So once you realize that symptoms occur when you create it, and same symptoms occur when you uncreate it. 2 times you always feel the symptoms. So when people go through healing crisis, don't be surprised. If someone's had pneumonia in their past, they're likely to go through it again. No one ever died by pneumonia doing it, detoxing and doing it the right way. People generally die from the treatment of these things. You have to realize that. People die from the treatment of these things. It's because the unconsciousness of allopathy and pharmaceuticals and of the FDA allowing these sort of practices to occur. And we just got us into a very bad corner. It's hard to get out of. And it's only going to take you guys at the level you understand, in my opinion, to really pull the human race out. We're going to have people be better. But I got a call over the weekend of a poor soul in a hospital, a raw foodist, thought to have some cancer going on in some bad places. And so this is a raw foodist. I can only tell you that the botanicals make all the difference in the world. Added to raw foods and fasting. You can be a raw foodist, but if you're predominantly eating vegetables, you're not moving lymph well. I can only tell you that. You're going to feel better, no question. I felt better as a raw foodist. I felt even much better as a fruitarian. Not that I'm trying to keep pushing that as a lifestyle change, but please let me. But if some balance is okay, but detoxification, you need to get up there just like Linda Lou's doing. She's kicking butt, doing it the right way. If you come off and on and off and on, so what? Sometimes I think it's better sometimes to do that, and then sometimes I think it's better that the longer you go, the better it is. But again, just don't beat yourself up. You do what you can do and keep going. Your arthritis could be full of fungus, and if you have orange in your eyes and you have a lot of sulfur, then you have a lot of candida. It could shake you off of that a bit. So Parasite M would be probably an appropriate formula no matter what you're doing. When you detoxify, you can continue to detoxify beds of these things. Let's see. Well, if they don't come in and shake my cage, it's about 10 till. I was telling Brenda to bring Coco over here, but I don't know if she's going to bring him. It's so cold, we had to dress him up. This is Jammy Mommy. Cute. I thank Jesus Christ for you. Thank you. And I thank Jesus Christ for being the being that he is. I just think it's, these incredible spiritual giants that just have paved the way and have left us so much information. And I see a lot of times we take that information and we get trapped in it, trying to fit in our consciousness instead of us trying to understand theirs. And so I'm a 51-year-old mom to 10 Holy moly, sweetheart. That's why you're a jammy mommy. Fibromyalgia, hypothyroid, ulcers, just about ready to give up. Don't give up, sweetheart. I've read your detox book and have been eating all fruits, veggies, mostly raw for a month. Any further instructions? Oh, do we have a little Coco baby? Well, come here. Come here. Come here, Coco. And I'm going to get ready to show you the dog.
Go see your daddy.
Come here, Coco. Come here, baby.
Let's go see your daddy.
Come
Here
here.
he comes. Here he comes.
Hello, sweetheart. Yeah. Come on. Come here. Hey, come over. I want to show you to the group. This is the dog. Nope. You got it. This is our dog Coco. Yeah, take a look over there, Coco.
Cookie. Come in, baby.
Yeah.
Say, I'm a good boy.
He's a good boy. Isn't he?
Oh,
She's a little dressed up because it's cold this morning. But that's our little doggy, the Coco.
Cookie.
Yeah. Here you go. Did you take your walk this morning there, sweetheart? Huh?
He did.
You did it? You're a good boy. All right.
I'm ready to squirm.
You're ready to go. Check everybody out. Could you double check this and make sure that's in there?
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, that's the Coco for you. I know it's kind of warm, but it was freezing in here. So that's the little doggy poo. Okay, Mom. I'd love to do an extended fast, but I can't afford to go to True North, etc., and can't find an ND to supervise one. Well, Julie, sweetheart, you don't need an ND to supervise this. You can have us help you here. They got plenty of staff here to help you through that if you get. And you've got the YouTube friends; they're all here to help you. And there's a Facebook site that I think they're really hot on. They're going to help you. And so. A lot of good information out there and help there. I wouldn't wait on an ND. Matter of fact, you'll be lucky to find a good ND to help you detox properly. So, got a lot of tools here for you to review these videos, sweetheart. But fibromyalgia, okay, what do you got going here? You got systemic acidosis, meaning your lymph system is moving with a hoot. Why the lymph system? Because the lymph system deals with the acid side of chemistry, and of course, pain is that acid side of chemistry, the corrosive side of chemistry. This has everything to do with your adrenal glands, your kidneys, and your lymphatic system. Even the hypothyroid, you can trick to that. So you would use a glandular for that hypothyroid, or you could use the thyroid formulas. Kelp would be a good supplement for you, but you've got to move your lymph system to pull this fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia, lupus, Lyme's, arthritises, lump them all in the same category. I'm going to do a short video on these, but basically I'm going to say the same thing, my broken record. I'm going to say the same thing I'm saying right now. Move those lymphs. And that, of course, is the fruit diet. You might want to stay away from the acid fruits if that could bother you. Depends how you feel on oranges and grapefruit. If you feel more pain, you might want to do a day of those and see how you feel. If you can't deal with the acid fruits and stay away from them, go down to the subacid, which is going to be your grapes and your apples and your and things like that. I would go that route and do some vegetables, green drinks and stuff like that until you plateau and then keep digging. I'm going to say get into the stomach and bowel, get into lymphatic 1 capsules, get your kidney formulas going, get your adrenal formula up there, and really tear this apart. Do another lymphatic, say lymph node 2 or something, and really pull on your lymph system, Julie, because you don't need to have people supervise you. You got a good site here. All these YouTubers are helping each other. That's just what I wanted them to do. That's the beauty of it. All of you guys are being groomed for healers. We need you. So you don't have to go spend a lot of money. That was the whole goal of doing this, to help you as free as we can. So take off and have fun with that, Julie. Don't wait. Grab your Christ around you and surround yourself with that love and intensity of God and head on down this road. I'm sure Jesus fasted it by himself, So it's that alone state where we all need to get alone and to take care of our fasting and to have time to spend with ourselves by ourselves. Too many people get up in the morning and the first thing goes on is the TV. Well, right there shows you how disconnected you are with yourself. You just have to connect with yourself and not fear anything, because you're the powerhouse of God and of consciousness, and don't let any man taketh under. Now, this is Heart of All Things. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Course with Robert Morse. Hi, I would love to take the 5-day detoxification course. Our Morse thing is little baby boy coming. Oh, a little baby boy coming in April. So I don't think it will be able to make it this spring. Will there be another course? Yeah, Julian, I generally have it once a year now. We might go up with that, excuse me, if we do some more traveling, but for now it's once a year, but we have it on DVD, whatever you want to do there. But then this website, I'm telling you, the YouTube site here, I'm packing with free information. I'm trying to help you with all the little quirks and areas to turn around and look at. As a matter of fact, I'm giving this school almost online here. So, Vegan Princess, I haven't talked with you in a while. Question, hello Doc. I did a 45-day fruit and veggie juice and tea fast when I was 23 years old. I transitioned / broke out of the fast for 5 days on raw. Then after the 5 days, I binged out on food for a good 2 weeks. I gained all the way back. Yeah, sometimes that can happen. I got a lot of friends that are like that. They're binge eaters. They do all raw and then they flip and go on the other side. Me, I don't. I've been lucky. I don't do that. I'll cheat, but I don't go way over. And when I do, it just kicks your butt too much. And but I've been known to, once in a while just say what the heck and go over, but not binging like that. I don't binge. Just a few bites of something's enough to tell me. After I broke the fast, my calves and ankles swelled up like a balloon. I am now 32 years old, and they still puffed up throughout the day. Well, that's kidneys. That immediately is kidneys, and you're not filtering your lymph, sweetheart, properly. So, honey, you've got to spend some time. That's probably why you're binging and everything's the adrenals, the emotions, that sort of connection there. And could have, parasites in there. So really clean out your body good, parasitically and lymphatically. And really give yourself a good cleaning with the herbs. That's why you'll come to love the herbs. And if affordability's low, you just go low. You just pick up the core Fab 4 or 5. The Fab Four, McCartney, last night. I loved his song. That was really interesting to see McCartney sing a song like that. I thought last night the Grammys were kick butt. I thought that was really, really good. I loved Kelly's duet. I just loved that. It was kick butt last night. I thought I didn't see the last half hour of it, but I recorded it. But I will. It was beautiful stuff. And they again, this is just realize, don't live with it, fix it. Don't live with this, fix it. This is kidneys and the lymph system, and you got to get that going. The adrenals are involved here, and I think once you get all that picked up, because when I watch binge eaters, kidneys, adrenals. Of course, all those other two are involved as well, but that's what I see universally. And then I know one that's a binge eater, and she's got worms for sure, but she won't take any herbs to get rid of them. She pooped out a long roundworm. I've got it over here, but it's a little dried out. It was alive. I don't know if you can see this from the bottom, but it was a good 13-inch roundworm, almost as round as a pencil, and he was alive. I didn't know what to feed it, so I didn't. Yeah, this is a tumor we pulled out of someone before. I've got you'll see a lot of pictures and stuff at the school I'll bring you. I don't know if it's appropriate to show on this site, but pretty gnarly. Sewage. Recently I've been all raw making banana smoothies, about 6 at a time, and the swelling gets worse. I'm so sad. Don't be sad, sweetheart. It seems like my legs are worse from the sugar, not from the sugar, from the water. You're not filtering through your kidneys like you should, and you need to do that. And get those adrenal glands under control. So I would definitely use a glandular myself for the adrenals, or use the adrenal formula if you have low blood pressure. Definitely, I'd use Kidney One liquid and Kidney One capsules. I do the Lymphatic One capsules and say Lymph 4, blow those kidneys open a little bit with that Lymphatic 4. A lot of astringents in the Lymphatic 4. And start getting that one. Don't get depressed. Understand what's going on with you, honey, and then we can back through that and get through that a little bit. The reason I say sugar is because in the past I would eat coconut ice cream and agave syrup. Life is sweet. But once you get your lymph system, your adrenals up, and sugar metabolism done right, because when you have adrenal weakness, sugar metabolism, it's going to affect all the sugars. That's the problem with type 2. You can control it better with simple sugars, obviously, but still you can have problems because it's sugar metabolism, again, adrenals. But it just shows you where your problem is. And my legs would swell up. No, I really need your help. Well, you got it, sweetheart. I do believe I damaged my kidneys by bringing out, binging out on cooked food, no animal food. No, just relax. Sarah, you're going to be fine, Sarah. You just go after those kidneys with the herbs. You're going to need to get into the herbs a little bit there. And maybe get the Heal All tea and drink it on a semi-regular basis just to get those kidneys back in shape and flushing. But remember the adrenal glands on top there. And kill the parasites in you. Do your parasitic kill for a month or two. Just clean yourself out. Ooh. But you should be okay there. Get those kidneys filtering. That's all it is. You're losing your kidneys there. This is Macarbone 4. Hi, sweetheart. What do you think about durian? I don't know. I don't overly like durian. I really, it wouldn't be my top fruit to pick. I just not really a super fan of it. Don't get it around here much, but I've had it a couple of times. I don't really overly like it. A bunch of us have a conversation about it. I wondered if it was too sulfuric. Maybe why I don't like it. It's just not something not a fruit. There's some fruits I just don't get with. That's all there is to it, and that's all the way it is. Same with certain vegetables. But remember the balance and having fun with all of this, and just keep working your body into that state of wellness. That's the fun of it. And having a good team like us to help everybody, I love it. I think we all should be respectful of each other and enjoy this, because this is a spiritual channel as well. And not that you can separate the two, but certainly the God is much more important. If you want to ask me, what is my gig? What is my gig? What is Dr. Morse's big thing? And I only have one word, 3 letters. God. That's it. I could care less about anything else. That's my number one everything. I'm like a roomie. I see God in everything. And there's nothing outside of that for me. I'm just channeling that all the time for my own consciousness, and so that's the only thing I care about. Whether you detoxify and you use your fruits and your vegetables, and fruits over vegetables, everybody can argue those things, but I think if you take a real good look at nature, and you take a real good look at the human species, and you really take and sift all this through like our conversations have been having, you'll find that we're not far from off the spot here. But always seek conscious awareness, always. But that's what I would say there, sweetheart. I'm not a lover of that one either. This is Jaws, BTW, before and without the enemas. I didn't feel a thing, but when I did enemas, I know you guys are in conversation with each other here, so I don't want to, there's Jaws again, bowel issues again. Well, I have tried a couple of enemas. I like the, I really like the stomach and bowel formulas. I tried to design restoratives in mind. Laxative is a no-brainer. You have your stimulation innervation syndrome going on, just like doing enemas and everything else. And so really, the nice thing about Cascara sagrada, a lot of people have given it a bad rap for no good reason, because of all the bowel herbs that are the movers, the purgatives and the like. that's the finest because you get a little hepatic kick and a little pancreatic kick minor. Excellent. Non-addictive, and when you add that in with a good restorative herbs like the bowel formulas, we had to have 5, and even with 5, I have some people taking 1 number 2s and 2 number 1s, to find that magic for that individual. But excuse me, I still have a little kick here. But I really like those bowel formulas better. I would use them to find where I needed, and you'll not know they're even in you working. They shouldn't give you gas from that. But if you're getting a lot of gas, you either have diverticulum, which is bowel pockets, and you're cleaning those out, or you have sulfur, which is being released from the bowel wall, which is gassy and bloaty, or you're not digesting your fruits and your veggies properly, and that would be pancreatic. So any of those things should be looked at. If you're thin, you're looking at malabsorption and pancreatic, one or both. And so it always never hurts to work on these tissues. Nobody's going to get hurt. Everybody's going to be healthy no matter what. So it doesn't hurt to work on the pancreas a little bit, the liver a little bit, perk it up a bit with the herbs and keep cleaning up the lymph system. Because remember, everybody's just a bunch of cells. Your pancreas is just a bunch of cells. Your joints are a bunch of cells. Your liver's a bunch of cells. Your gallbladder a bunch of cells. Your spleen a bunch of cells. And the lymph system is the issue around the cells. It's not the blood. The lymph's the issue. If you got blood problems, clean the blood up. Use the blood formula. The blood formula can be used every couple of months just to clean out the blood because it reaches into the lymph. The blood formula is a great lymphatic formula, but I love the blood formula. Look at the herbs in the blood formula and see what you think. I think it's a really appropriate formula, and I really like it. Cleans up the liver, cleans up the spleen, cleans the blood, and reaches into the lymph system, so it's a good formula there. So, you just play and just clean up the body here and there and enjoy the journey with that. Here we go. November's Grace. I will make the sacrifice and move to Florida to work for you, Dr. Morris. Love you too there, sweetheart. Thank you so much, November's Grace. Yeah, we hired a young man came in the other day. He's on he said he was from the YouTube, but I one look at him. I said, we need to hire him, and we hired him, But you got to start in the back and work the way up. But I'd love to have all of you here. But you know what? You're the lights out in the wilderness for me and for the Supreme Being. This is all for the Supreme Being. For each of us, you've got to always be that channel and be the Supreme Being. We're taking over the world. Yes, yes. We are, and I hope we do, because I tell you, this world does need a real dose of health, and I'm just hoping that we'll do that and help the consciousness. And I don't know how you turn around some of these dictators who are just solidified in their consciousness, willing to kill their own people. Some of these souls, there's a couple of places in the astral world that some of these souls go to, and all I have to say, if you knew where you could spend time karmatically, even in creation, you wouldn't even think about hurting somebody. So, there's that other side of it in creation that also keeps me a little on the side of channeling. It's just it's karma. That's a good sign. Your office is getting noticed and calls for help. I hope so, Thank you all for this, Kelvin. All you people that are out there, I humbly thank you all for this, our mission to get out there. That's all it is to me. I don't, in fact, I have read Dan Beggs about how Dr. Morse lived on oranges on at least 3 videos. I've been following Dan since almost his very first video. I've missed very few until he started doing 20-minute videos. The problem with these videos for me is they're going to be long. And unfortunately, maybe my answer to your question is lost somewhere in there. So what I'm trying to do is write on the heading in order of the way I get these. So I'm going to reverse these, and what I brought out first, I'm going to try to write first as the heading, so maybe you could sift through this quicker and you wouldn't have to put up with this longer dissertation here. So I do apologize in that way. Some of you are putting together these videos the way they should be, and I need your help. I know you guys are doing really good with that, so I really thank all you Facebook people. You guys there's a group of about 600 of you there that are really kicking butt. I take it this is going to be the core of the true healers here. So we need to make that 6,000 and get out there. And some of these countries are suffering so bad, we need to fix them up. Get everybody healthy and happy again. Then we'll get back to a semblance of some type of fun activity here. The water full of love. I don't know if Dan's spiritual ideas are his own or are recycled stuff. I don't know too much about any of that. I really don't focus on, I don't know what Dan's spiritual views are. I remember the last time he was in here, he was Jesus, but, there was times I went through all levels of thinking. I went through the fact there was no God. It was all nature, and then started looking around a little more, and I think that's what really broke me away from so much religious concepts. And then I started looking around and said, oh no, there's definitely an intelligent force that's created all this beauty. And I think sometimes we have to break some of our preconceived ideas to enter the realm of the now, to where we can enjoy the beauty of what exists. It's kind of like some people smell for the first time. I remember when I really started into the raw, and I've been raised on milk, I had forgot that I had lost the sense of smell, and then I'd been smelling by memory. And that's a startling wake-up, that you've actually been smelling by memory, not by actual smells. And it brings a little more ecstasy to actually smell. So I see why God has the five senses here, why the physical body, and the activity there. But boy, the development of these lower states is a jerker, man. The suffering is unbelievable. No offense intended for Dr. Morse or Dan, but I don't see eye to eye with either of them. Well, that's okay. You should have your right to see whatever eye you want to look at. I like the one eye, though, and that's the eye of God. Who cares how you perceive that, as long as you understand that would be a good, worthy goal for yourself. Believes in reptilian aliens. I really believe what I see, because I really don't want to say I believe in anything. As soon as I say I believe in something, I separate myself from fact and fiction, and I want to say what I've seen. I don't really throw out theories much. I'm not a theory-oriented person. I think we're drowned in our theories, even in religious thought and psychiatry and all these ridiculous theories. I take it that Whitney's probably going to be a drowning victim of a theory. But always what is, that's the key. But to get to what really is, you have to drop all what you think. Drop all these theories and these belief systems, because in the way that you're saying here is that I believe in. I've seen reptilian things, but I don't know. I've talked to some of you YouTubers that are very active in understanding them and what they're here for. I think it would be naive of me to not understand that life in this galaxy and in this physical world is stuck everywhere. I think the problem with man is that his id has made him think he's the superior being of all things, and that's regurgitating, and that's what's led us into where we're at, the narcissistic view that a lot of humans have, and I think you have to let that go, and just see what is, and the more that you're in the now, the more you'll see things you didn't observe before, whatever name you want to give that. I don't gel with any of that, but I think that there are entities of all levels. You can consider yourself an entity, and there are beings at all levels. To not understand that, I think, would be an insult to God, to say that we're the only ones. And I always hated that type of consciousness. That's regurgitating to me. So really, understand that we're all here. All life is intermingled, and all life is simply God in expression. And when you start seeing that, then belief systems and theories can go out the door. I don't really care what theories are out there. I ignore the spiritual stuff and just look at the nuggets. Yeah, do that. I mean, that's okay with me. This is at ANARCHORE. Well, yeah, you take what you need out of everything, and I like that. You really want to take and pick and choose what you need out of from what everybody says and mold it to what you know to be true. I'll say this: keep trying to let go of theories and preconceived ideas, and look at more factual stuff. There's so much theory out there in all levels, in metaphysics as well as in diet and health. So all of that. Yes, I was been eating raw before Dad was in diapers. You really could use a little class, I know. Cool music. I love you guys. You guys are a bunch of great souls here. I say this is ongoing here. So I don't, Dan has promoted Dr. Moore several times. Yeah, we try to promote each other. Dan kept after me for doing the YouTubes, that's for sure. And it took James Les Mitchell to throw me into that. And I've said this before, and that's my first video, because when you see the FDA coming out and saying, well, only 6% of people survive chemo, and then the news media has this concept that 80 or 90% survive it, I think that's misinformation, and I feel sorry for these broadcasters because they're lied to. And if you look at Time Warner and all these people, you know who they're owned by, you know the gig, So basically, most of the crap out there is illusionary. Reality is, I hope this is reality video for you, because I try to teach you what I've seen and experienced, because I have no real use for theory anymore, double-blind studies, religious concepts, philosophies, and stuff like this. We have to get to a much higher level of existence here. Now, it's not meant for everyone anyway. I don't expect a lot of people to get to the now and be able to maintain that level. I really don't. But if you can, you've got it. If not, you keep working on it. What can I say about that, right? So I don't know. This seems like a lot of going back and forth to me. But I think that we all need to work with love. You get whatever tidbits you need out of what we're saying here, and you go with that. I think it's a good idea. Thanks. All of you guys. LUIS, Lewis04191, I love you. Thank you so much. Yahweh bless. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your kindness and grace, all of you guys. Even the guys that don't get with it all. Okay. You get whatever you can out of it and use it to help yourself. And whatever you can help yourself and get yourself healthier and happier, I'm for. Because a lot of people have lost their joy right now, and we need to get our joy back. And in the muckst of so much corruption and negativity, but that's how we stand tall and are the pillars of light and love and beauty, honesty, integrity. These are the hallmarks of what you should seek, the hallmarks of what a God would be. And respect for others. And it doesn't matter, these underlying little things, who's here first and that. We're in a long line of people that have paved the way from the Jensens and the Arnold Ehretts and all of them, McFadden's even. I mean, look at Fry and Shelton and Tilden. I mean, there's been a lot of greats out there that paved the way in times of solidified consciousness on the planet. Imagine what they were up against. I'm humbled that we're in that lineage of those that broke away from normal thinking, from the social consciousness, and broke away into the spiritual awareness of individuality, on actually the oneness of that. Individuality is interesting. There's the oneness of it, and then there's the narcissistic side of it as well. That's the problem. That's what I said before. You have to go beyond yourself to get to yourself. So interesting stuff here. So thank you all, the Life Rejuvenator and Regenerator. Dr. Morris, yeah, and because of Dan. Thanks, Life Rejuvenator. Good man. We got long videos. I have a corporate job, so you take what you need out of these guys. What is the name of the song? Just wishing Dr. Morris' staff. Thank you all. Lone Star Solar. That's a nice name there. Doc, that music is you. Thank you so much, DT8. Thank you all for your loving comments, and even those that are challenging us. It's okay. I think a good challenge. I'm always up for a good challenge. You know, the challenge for me is in reality, and reality in this level is to see the proof in the pudding, and to see you beautiful people pulling yourselves out of some of your little boxes that's happened to you. And so I'm just excited to see you get out of pain. I can't stand suffering, so get yourselves out of pain and get your joys back. That's all that matters. And get yourselves out of pain and get your joys back. That's all that matters. And we'll be a better level here for that. Optic nerve, what can I do about it? Good question, my friend. That's Leahcimrac. Hi, my friend. You want to get in that upper circulation and brain and nerve. I think that would be an excellent choice, especially the brain and nerve one. Upper circ's just going to be of value to you. You could take the eye wash topically for a month or two and clean up and go that way. Take it internally. It'll help to get up and nourish that as well. But move those limbs, because when you look at the deterioration of tissue, whether it is the optic nerve or any other nerve, it's always going to be the acid side of chemistry. They also have to understand, I think, that the lack of neurotransmitter production can also weigh down on the nerve integrity. So getting the endocrine glands back up, getting the brain turned on, getting more serotonins and neurotransmitters is definitely going to be appropriate for that issue as well. So again, you want to get into the adrenals, but upper circuit, brain, and nerve is about the best we can do upstairs. At the same time, clean up that colon. Remember the link we talk about with the GI tract to the head area. So you want to clean up your bowels, stomach and bowel number, lymphatic 1 capsule, get into the kidneys, get the adrenals up. That's neurotransmitters, and then again, get upper circuit, brain, and nerve, and that'll help you regenerate that optic nerve. Absolutely. Dr. Morris, when you say use alfalfa, in what form do you mean? Well, I don't care, Fresh is best, but encapsulated is good fresh herbs encapsulated is really powerful. You might have to go that way. I don't make a tincture. I wouldn't make a tincture of alfalfa. I did for dulse and kelp. I put them in tincture form for a while. I think we about sold out of them. I don't really deal with that too much. I like the raw form as much as possible, or the ground form where we put in capsules and we grind it up. Any form like that. Shackley had pills, I think, and some people were taking 30 capsules a day of that. But alfalfa is just another superfood out there. But again, don't go overboard with the nutrition. There's plenty available. From the alfalfas to the kelps to the royal jellies. These are the superfoods. The berries, again, don't forget the berries. They're superfoods. Look at the blueberry, a superfood. Your blackberries, your cherries, all these. I think the biggest issue is raise properly and pick ripe. I think that's what the issue really is when it comes to fruits and berries and melons. That really dictates. Vegetables doesn't seem to have a period of time like that so much. You see it in the peppers, though, the fruit-type veggies, where you can get away from the earlier stages, like the green peppers, and get to the red and the orange ones. Those are much sweeter, of course. And you notice anything that matures properly on the tree or vine or plant is going to be sweeter and more tasty. It's like those big oranges that I bought at Walmart. Great big, but bitter. Now, navel oranges should never be bitter, but these are large oranges, and of course, the guy just pumped these trees with high nitrogen, proud of the size of them, but he has sucky fruit, and eventually no one will buy his fruit, and then he'll go down, wonder why he lost his business. And it's because he didn't think about the quality of the taste. It's all about the taste, isn't it? This is in Dan 3, like your picture there, Ark. Dr. Moore, should I get my bowels moving first before I start taking the lymph formulas? Yeah, if you can do it all together, it's more powerful. At least as many as you can together, it's just more powerful, in my opinion. But bowels should be moving, absolutely. Is it okay to start on all the formulas at once? Absolutely. Kidney, bladder, liver, I hit them. I find it much better when you use everything at once and you've got a major focus coming down on you. I really like that. You're pulling in the power of all these forms, and they're all coming down on the body, which is perceiving itself as weak. And pretty soon, it's like bringing all the spiritual giants coming in and helping a situation, which you have a lot of spiritual beings involved with this planet right now. A lot of them coming out of the woodwork from all levels. So there's a lot of spiritual beings out there right now, and we need them. And of course, in due respect, I see all of you as great spiritual beings as well, and you should see yourself as one. So we get off the pettiness in some of these places, and we exude the beauty and love that we are. And that's what my message is to you, lovely ones, today, is be all you can be in the beauty and love and light. Be love. Always just be pure love. When you meet someone, just be love. You know, they'll get it. It's a good spiritual technique, too. This is star 8, Indian hair. Oh, I love that. I got some neat Native American artifacts I think we showed you. Could you give me some water, bottled water out of the refrigerator? Thank you. Are you working on new herbal formulas? Yeah, I am. Just wanted to see what you thought about herbs that have DMT in it. And generally, how safe are they? Also, I know in one video you were talking about Herb Robert as a heal-all herb. I'm not familiar with what was Herb Robert. It was another herb we use here. I don't know if it told you your opinion about what do you like to know. The bottle glass. Can't deal with plastic. Thank you, dear one. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What's the agenda?
You don't have a 10.
I don't have a 10.
Yeah.
So I'm open till noon?
Possibly.
Possibly? Is that?
Was wanting to come see you or talk to you today, so Brenda is going to talk to her. She might call it like 11.
She's sick?
She's got something going on.
Oh. Who?
Karen?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, I would talk to her about her son running high fevers.
I think so. This was about her, though. She called Friday. She wanted to see if she could talk to you this morning.
Well, I want to shoot these as much as I can.
Okay.
She's a healer. She knows.
You have until at least 11, maybe 12.
11:30.
We could do
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
I'll tell Brenda 11:30
Yeah.
if she
Yeah.
does.
Because I've okay. All right. Sorry about that. Yes, when you're detoxifying children, they can run 105, 106 degree temperature. Remember that. And don't freak out. You can keep your child cooled down as much as you can. A little bit anyway, 103 if you can get it down. Cold washcloth, nap of the neck, forehead, a little cool bath now and then. Fever fuse, a good one. We don't want to try to break any fevers because we want children to detoxify. Detoxification is a natural process that babies and children and adults and everybody go through. We got to get with that and understand these are natural detoxification processes. In the wilds, they probably wouldn't be near as intense. This is the problem. This is why that some of these we need a little help from our friends, the herbs. And as you know, when animals get sick, they go suck down on some herbs. And so, Dr. Morris, you're working, okay. I don't know what DMT, I don't follow that. I don't. You have to let me know what that is. And this is Scorpius 662. Dr. Morris, if you were bitten by a black mamba, absolutely. Get me to some lymphatic herbs, especially if you could find plantain, like the mongoose suck down plantain. If you can get heavy lymphatic herbs, you'll be okay. You won't pass. That'd be the number one thing I'd do is the lymphatic herbs. You just suck them down. That would save your butt for sure. All of those are anti-neurotoxins and excitotoxins, so yeah, definitely would do it. I know you recommended the lymphatic formulas for snake and spider bites, but you had tailor-made a formula for extreme poisons. What would you put in it? Plantain. The plantain would be one of my top herbs in there. Probably go 20% plantain, poke and bloodroot, probably another 10 to 15% each one of those. Definitely throw a little juniper berry, something in there to pop those kidneys to get them opened up as quick as possible. I'd probably do parasitic in there just for the heck of it. Maybe some walnut hull, the green part of the walnut hull. Maybe something like that, real strong, something like that maybe. We use our lymphatics on all these recluse spider bites and everything, and they always heal up nice and poison's cleaned out and everything good. Never seen one that couldn't do that. And so, but plantain would be the top on my list. I love that one. I have it in your bowel formulas. I have it in several lymphatic formulas. One of my favorites in terms of poisons and the problems. This is why with the children and autism and all this, we're detoxifying neurotoxins out of the body as well as rebuilding the nervous systems. So we're doing both things there. Thanks, good question. I really like your questions, guys. My name is Nobody's. Oh, is that a wicked guitar player, man? Who had that old guitar last night? Had that old guitar. Came right out there and just made that thing sing. Oh, acoustic guitar. It looked like that thing looked like my first guitar back in the early 60s. Yeah, that was funny. Great YouTube channel. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I'm just watching video 36 part 3 going back towards the beginning first videos. That means I've watched about 200 videos. My daughter and I have gone vegetarian and hope to do a fruit juice fast in the holidays. It's only been a few weeks and gone from no sediment to full sediment in the urine within a few weeks. This guy's going to kick butt. Having some major healing crisis, but enjoying it because we know we are kicking butt. Well, I commend you and your daughter there, and keep playing on that wicked guitar there, man. I'd like to buy me. I don't have a guitar right now. I'm kind of upset that Brenda had found me a 12-string Vox acoustic guitar. I should have never let that one out of my sight. But, I've been so involved in this for years, I just haven't taken any time to play. But someday I'm going to get me a studio, soundproof it, and I'm going to buy a Gretsch, I'm going to buy a Rickenbacker, I'm going to have some fun. I don't know, but I would enjoy that. I have to work my fingers back. Oh, this is HRAPOVIK plush. Love your little bear there, your little cutie bear. Hello, Dr. Morris. I hope you are doing well. I am. Thank you very much. Being a pain with all these questions. Not really. I enjoy these questions. I am just so sorry that I can't get to them all in a timely manner. I see now that that's an impossibility. So just bear with me. If there's one that just keeps that I keep missing, put it in capital letters, and maybe I can pick that up there. But I am greatly behind. But I've moved. It's done. This morning I was out of six or so fencing. So I build wood fences and stuff around, and I'm a recluse, so I like privacy. So I'm always doing something. But we were moving some mighty big trees over the weekend too. Saturday we had some beautiful trees I moved, just gorgeous trees. I love a tropical tree setting. Now, in addition to my lump in the throat, I remember that, I also have the air swallowing issue. Yes. With my upper esophageal sphincter is so weak that sometimes air gets into my stomach even when breathing or talking. That's where you have to be careful. and clean your sinuses out too, because you'll sometimes become mouth breathers. The same thing will happen. So you have to kind of keep working yourself through that. To make strong is to detoxify first. And in that process of moving these acids and this mucus out of these tissues, the tissues then can rebuild, particularly when you're involved in kicking up, say, parathyroid and kicking, up the adrenals and steroids and stuff like this. You're going to be having an action in the body towards strength and heal and well-beingness. So it's just a process that takes. Don't get frustrated. It can take some time. Take some time. You mentioned that I need to strengthen parathyroid and move lymph. How can I strengthen my parathyroid? Well, Calma Plus is a good one. And then take the endocrine gland for a while. I think all the berries are glandular, so all the berries you're eating and in the formulas will help you with that. And then I wouldn't worry about it. I'd keep moving lymph. And because even when you're seeing a hypo state of anything, as you move lymph, the energy of the systemic energy of the body will help pull everybody up. It's like everybody's hooked together, cellularly speaking, systemically speaking. So as you bring health toward the whole organism, everybody's going to come online anyway. Nobody's going to sit back and wait. Everybody's going to be pulled along down the highway with you. Also seems like my lower esophageal sphincters are, well, I'm sure. But you get so thick with mucus, it makes these sphincters swell, just like any other tissue swells up. Could I have a hiatal hernia? Yeah, absolutely you could. But that's what that is. And but keep cleaning that esophagus and the GI tract. Keep going that way, and that'll open up even the hiatal hernia. It also seems like, I keep hearing from doctors that hiatal hernia is impossible to heal. No, it's not. Not at all. These people can't heal anything, so they make people feel better in their focuses, but we're at a much different level here. So it's just that you got to hang in. Don't get frustrated and relax. The more you relax, the better it is to move lymph. You get too stressed on your problems, and it's hard to move lymph. So there's a part of that where you've got to put the suffering of your body outside of yourself, and it'll make you do better. And just hang in there and do your fasts, particularly some of these lemon juice fasts, real strong with right up in here, and help to pull that out much better. So just hang in there, my friend. You're going to be okay. And just keep working that. Keep working that. And then you can power up, baby. Power up with some kelp as a supplement. Kelp is going to trip the thyroid with the high level of iodine, and then comes with it a high level of calcium. I love the way God thinks. C1SC Om. I have to go over eyes here. I still have some eyes. I've got Tim's eyes here. Composer Tim. I don't know if I've gone over these or not. I know I wanted to go over Indiana bananas, but the last 2 weeks for me have just been a nightmare with all kinds of things going on. But now everything is quieting down. So we can get on with it. Hard to teach everything over a site like this, but I still want you to come to my class. Progress, month 1. Don't even know which day. Note. Good, because now you're just being in the ever-presence of consciousness. So, what day is this? I don't know. Good. Too much mind. Too much fiber. 6 BMs per day. Woohoo! Excuse me. I wonder how my kidneys are doing. Well, they're probably doing some pushing too. I took pictures of my eyes from day 1, and today I don't see much. You're not going to. That's why I don't take pictures for about every 6 months to a year. Dimitri was that same trying to change daily. Well, I don't understand how to read my iris either, but I feel very much better than in years. Today I went to my closet, grabbed my guitar, yeah, baby, cleaned it up and just started jamming. Now you see, you're getting your joy back there, bro. I love it. And that's what this is all about. We're getting our joy back, we're getting our health back, we're getting the consciousness back, and we're going to take these negative forces and send them down into some other places for a while. Can't get rid of them because they're always ever present, but we don't have to always give it energy. It feels great. I feel like Tom Cruise in Risky Business, shirt, underwear, and glasses. Yeah, baby. A lot of love out there. Good job. You know, that's what this is about, isn't it? That's what I think, too. One last thing. This is Lucky Mayan. Please talk about raw vegan pregnancy. Are there any superfoods or certain fruits, greens, vegetables that you would recommend? I'm assuming that you're not in prenatal vitamins. Yeah, no, not at all. I think you should take a superfood blend, though. A good superfood blend will really give you plenty of calcium. I'd probably even supplement that kelp a little bit, especially having a child, because they're going to steal some calcium out of you, and you want to make sure you can give it, be taking it, and not lose your own. So being a good raw food mom would be really important. Detoxification's going to occur at times, but you just ride through them. You have a stronger, healthier fetus, and everybody will come out pretty good. Not so much mucus, and little one will be much more powerful for it. So yeah, a good superfood blend. One should kind of maybe take a superfood blend now and then anyway, but especially through pregnancy, obviously. And so definitely help you out. The more detoxified, maybe your milk will be good, and everything will be good for that. So yeah, I would go down that road. That would be a time for good green drinks. Would also be welcome with that. I would back up from detoxification too much. Even on raw foods, you're going to have minor detoxification, whether one likes it or not. It's just going to be the natural event of things, but that's okay. The aggressive detox that most of us are learning here is for those that are in so much pain all the time and serious problems. If you were pregnant and had cancer, it'd be, we'd be up there. So you really want to, find that middle ground. A lot of fruits and lots of berries. Berries for the children or something else. Coconut for you. Fatty acids, very important for brain and nerve development. So the coconut, milk and meat, excellent choice. Avocados, all this is just good food stuff, And just keep going down that road. Just looking at the health of it as opposed to so much detoxification would do you well. But again, picking up the glands with some herbs or whatever you want to do would always be helpful to the fetus. As you're building up your glands, it's going to have that residual effect right into the fetus. So it's all good, So absolutely. This is part 2, being fed corn syrup, soy, and synthetic vitamins. I know that GD blessed me to wake up to the miraculous healing power of raw food. Absolutely. I went somebody to help, but it seems like all I can do now is pray. Instead of praying, be the power, Mom. Be the power, Mom. That's what I got out of that when you wrote that. You're letting some of your power go. Be God. Be the power, and you'll bring forth a high soul and be the power. That being said, I wanted to request that you talk about her condition on the YouTube. Car accident when her hips were shattered. Didn't wake up for weeks. And that gets me about that one case we had that was in a coma. I wanted that case so bad. I've had several opportunities to have these cases, and every case, the husband, and these were females, the husband declined my help. Now, what's with that? If I know and get with the concepts that we're going to make the body healthy so that soul can come back into that body, and the soul's hanging around waiting for someone to get the body healthy, wouldn't you try? I don't know. I know I certainly would. Somebody called me over the weekend and asked me about this one case that she's dying with cancer, and it's like, would you still help her? What do you mean, would you still help her? When would you not still help someone? You're going to help them all the way to if they can't make it and they pass, I'll walk with you. Matter of fact, if you want to stay on the planet, I'll go for you. Not in maybe where you're going, but certainly I want to get off the planet. Let me see, her hips were shattered in this car accident. She was in a coma, a medicated coma. She had a fat embolism and now complete paralysis. Well, I'd get a feeding tube in that lady, or if it's a female, I'd get feeding her the right way. Maybe hearing your wise and canning voice explain the possibilities will wake her husband up. There you go. This is another husband problem. Up and push him into action. Go easy on him, though, please. He loves her very much. Well, that's my point. My point is, if you love your woman or you love your man, then you pull out all the stops. And you have to understand about health. Even in a sedentary position, you can got a feeding tube and you can go into that stomach and you can put, because we do it all the time. I've told you, I pulled a lot of people out of nursing homes before and out of paralysis. You see the MS case, and that's just one of many cases. And so really, you want to get a feeding tube put in a gastric tube, not a nasal gastric tube, but a gastric tube, and start feeding her juices and get in the herbs and start turning on this body of hers and start letting it repair itself at a much higher level. Keeping her nervous system sedated too much won't allow that soul to come back in. There's a point where this becomes neurotoxic to that person, and you can't get them out of the coma. So really want to really empower this person neurologically. That would be brain and nerve, upper circuit at the same time. You're turning on the parathyroid for calcium utilization. You're moving those lymphs to get these acids out of these tissues, because she's going to have a lot more acidosis in that position, and it depends what the medical doctors are doing. If they're giving her antibiotics, that's another big negative, suppressing the lymph system. You can keep any bacterial action to the proper course if you use an herbal parasitic antibiotic, because it doesn't kill the beneficial ones, because most bacteria in your body is there for what they need to be. So it's the concept of what we have about them that's false. And so that's what we have to look at that. But if he's willing to help her, then he really loves her, then he will put out all the stops, because medically, sorry, there's no regenerative value medically. Remember that. They're just stabilizing that body, hoping maybe she'll wake up. We don't want to stabilize that body. We want to make that body healthy. That's the only way to think. You've got to think health, because we're living in a very suppressed, unhealthy way of thinking, feeling, and eating. You got to change all of that. So if the husband's willing and ready, rock on. Get this girl back and back on the planet, if that's what's going to be. When you see a soul hanging around and the body's in a coma and they haven't cut the cord, then you can get that soul back in that body, most likely. But because that soul hasn't left yet, so it's waiting. And that's our opportunity to get those bodies healthy. That's the message. And a lot of us aren't learning that message, especially in allopathy. And that has to change. That's why we're doing this YouTube site. It's for you to change that. One guy becomes thousands. And that's why I'm doing this. So one guy can become thousands and get out of some of this ridiculous thinking and start getting our joys back, including the husband and getting his woman back. Why not put out all the stops? At least you said you've tried everything if that soul decides not to come back. That soul is hanging around there. Get that body ability to accept that soul. No soul is going to inhabit a body that can't handle it. You're going to naturally pop out of it. You can hang around for a while, but that's where you hear that silver cord. There is a silver cord. You can see it. That's why the terminology came forth. A lot of people see it when they have near-death experiences. She's still hooked. I contacted your office a couple of weeks back in regards to my friend who was in a coma. Oh, this is the case. Well, I hope they get this up on YouTube this morning. I'm going to tell Chris to try to get this up for you, because this is the case where the husband, I said earlier, wouldn't allow us in the door. I'm no offense to the husband, but that would be a problem for me when I saw a husband that wouldn't allow the simplistic understanding of getting the body healthy. I think it's easy for anybody to understand what we be doing there. Getting a person's body healthy so they can inhabit it better. That's what each and every one of you are doing. And you'd be doing it whether you were in a coma or whether you're standing upright. Doesn't matter the condition the body's in. The focus is the regeneration of tissue. As long as that silver cord and that magnetic energy from that soul is supporting that body, Absolutely. Why not try? At least you tried. Right now, that's all medical doctors can do is stabilize. Keep that in mind. It's a body that regenerates itself. Medical doctors don't regenerate nothing. It's your body that regenerates itself. Those that have stronger genes can regenerate better than others. Those that have weak lymph systems don't regenerate worth a squat because they're already highly acidic. And the longer she lays there, the more acidic and decay you're going to see, the atrophy of the muscles, etc., etc., etc. Well, we can stop a lot of that. We can stop a lot of that by moving that lymph with foods and herbs. We can stop decubitus, we can stop all that and start turning on that brain and nervous system of that soul, of that body. So I hope you get this. And I really do, because you're the case I talked about earlier on in here, and I really would like that case. It doesn't matter. It's up to the husband. Should be up to the parents too, actually. But, I think of that one lady that let go, and the parents fought and fought and fought, and they just unplugged her. And it's like, the sad thing is that no one thinks about regeneration of tissue because they're so medically inclined. And we must wake up to the extreme limitation of the medical community and the insanity of continuing to allow these toxic and deadly pharmaceuticals on the market. That's why you don't see a lot of anything going on in that field. Again, barring surgeries and barring emergency medicine. Okay, this is Leahcimrac. Yeah, give me a easier word, man. Dr. Morse, what do you think about sun gazing? I hear that it's great for regenerating retina cells. Kind of like when you go to the gym, you damage your muscles. Well, you know what's interesting? I was just telling someone the other day about that. I'm glad you brought that up. Because down here, they do everything to avoid the sun, especially when they get older. And you see them driving in a car with sunglasses wrapped all the way around their head. And they get more blind and more blind and more blind. I don't know about direct sun gazing. I think you have to be real careful with that, particularly in today's world where the bodies are in such a decay. The sun is acidic, but full spectrum lighting is important, and if you're having a hard time, you force it. Not sun gazing, but you force the light to come in. You have to work through that, and you should have some good lighting. I look up at the sun once in a while myself, but in terms of gazing at the sun, I don't know where that's come in at. I'd be careful with that, but I would live in the sun, be a sun worshiper. At the same time, get that body alkaline. Or toward that more to a pH of a base balance. And you'll love the sun. It'll bathe you. But when you've had enough, you can tell. It's like a hot tub. You had enough, you have to exit that. Because heat can be debilitating at a certain point. You can feel it energize and then de-energize. So you got to be able to feel your body when you reach the energize. That's enough. Time to step out. And that would be appropriate. And that would be obvious. But important to get full spectrum lighting. Remember the old saying, you got to give prisoners an hour of sun every day. I find that disgusting. They should have more than that. Our whole society is about the insane, how we treat our what we call prisoners, I guess. But we have all levels of them. Half the people in these prisons should never ever be in there. Sad stuff. How we treat our fellow man. Just unbelievable, the narcissism that exists in these places. Unawareness, but, I got a lot of sneezing after eating boysenberries, but not so much now. Okay. 7 months pregnant, abdominal calcification spot found in ultrasound. Well, anytime you find calcifications, guess what you're going to find with it? Acidosis. Twin. That's what ionizes. That's where you find the rock. So again, this is all going to the broken record of the lymph and moving that lymph out of there. That just shows that you're heading with some lymph problems, and give your little one maybe some lymph problems. This is AMHO Home, M Home 84, M Home. Now, they found in ultrasound, they found a calcification, a spot inside the baby's stomach. They really have no answers to me except we will have to wait until she is out to take x-rays. And then the journey starts. I would say this, continue to pour that raw foods in there because the fetus has to find that base balance as well. And that's your best chance of having that. Calcification in the wall of the stomach, it just shows the potential to have interstitial lymphatic constipation in the gut wall of the child, meaning you probably have it as well, sweetheart. So really just keep focusing on moving those lymphs. You have to do it gently. You're at 7 months. Generally at 7 months, you're pretty good to go. So you can kick it up with lymphatic 1, kidney 1, stomach and bowel, and move in that direction. Get definitely do the endocrine gland with that, and you should be quite fine. And start detoxifying yourself a little gently, but way up there on the raw. My fiance and I came to take a picture with you. Oh, we are from Wisconsin, this great soil state. I remember you guys, yeah. And we wanted to ask you then, but we were very busy. I know. We only have a few hours here. I'm wondering if there is Wisconsin soil. Yeah. I'm wondering if there is something that I can eat to make that go away before she is born. I am not currently 100% raw. I probably would get up there, though, sweetheart, and get up on that, a lot of fruits and berries at least, and see about detoxifying the child as well. Remember, you got to move the baby's lymph, so by moving your lymph, the baby will move its lymph. If you don't move your lymph well, its lymph isn't going to move either. So really, this is about moving your lymph, and I think when you see a calcification, it's in your face that you're not moving lymph, even in the fetus. But if your fetus isn't moving lymph well, guess who isn't either? Again, going back to you again, honey. So get your lymph moving, get your kidneys filtering, and go that way, and I think you'll be quite fine with her. And then keep moving it in a gentle direction, and you'll be good. I would get up on raw, though, and particularly a lot of fruits and berries and melons. Now's the time to get that baby's brain and nervous system up there. Hey, Owen Fox. Hey, young man. Haven't seen you in a while. I feel like I've been gone for a year. I've been 2 weeks of just a lot of work, and I've been going through detoxing, and I hit my voice box, so I had a hard time just talking to people here. But I haven't had that happen to me since I was a teenager, and I'm going, it's about time. I need that. Because all I do is flap my jaws. More I learn about the effectiveness of filtering and seeing sewage waste in your urine, the more I think urine therapy is mad. Now, Owen, you see what I see, don't you? It's like, I've never done urine therapy, thank you, but I've always thought how stupid. Of course, if you're not filtering, okay, I guess, but when you're filtering acids out, yeah, no thank you. I can't believe a man stoops that way of drinking his own urine. I mean, I can see it if you're stuck out on the water, but my God. It's just ridiculous. There's too many good tasting fresh fruits and berries to go to urine. I mean, well, Chris has been kind of keeping a check of our growth. So we're not. I don't think we're doing too bad on this channel. I don't expect everybody to run out and jump on this channel. This isn't for everybody. This is the ultimate ride, and a lot of souls aren't willing to jump on it. For one reason or another, their consciousness isn't ready, because it does have a far-reaching effect into your etheric bodies, and so the ride can be, a little bumpy, both mentally, emotionally, and physically. But heck, most of you guys like a good roller coaster ride, right? Some of you seek those out, like the Mutamba and all these things. So they've got one up here at Busch Gardens. You go almost backwards straight down. I mean, it's a killer. I'd never get on that thing. But a lot of my friends love to ride those things, And Busch Gardens has got the cheetah now. I've been on that one. I want to go up there and get on the cheetah ride. That's supposed to be a real fast ride. So that ought to be exciting that way. I just don't like to go straight down. Nah, We used to play that when I was flying. We just stall the plane on purpose. Yeah, okay. I remember flying once. I stalled the plane. I had to fly over the runway, 1 foot above the runway. You got to fly 1 foot above the runway. Well, I'm the student at the time, and I'm holding the nose up, but trying to keep that going just enough not to stall. But sure enough, I stalled, slapped that runway. Man, my instructor's heart went right out his mouth. Well, he did get a smile on his face. Man, I thought I probably looked like a ghost. Man, I thought I just wrecked the plane and everything, but it happens. I was on a jet. I think it was I can't remember which size it was, but it was a night run from like Houston to Corpus Christi, and those night runs, trainer pilots, and this guy almost stalled it. The stall light came on. I saw him pulling up, and we couldn't have been 800 foot coming in on a landing, and man, he stalled that puppy at 800 foot. That probably would have been it. Boy, you could hear him give the juice. It's crazy out there. To avoid processed foods at me at any cost. C1SC Ohm. I see you guys are talking to each other here. I won't invade anybody here. Sprouting is amazing. Yeah, I used to sprout a lot of alfalfa. Really get it intently green. I've talked to you about that one time before. I can't afford all raw. Well, you do your best there, C. Basie. Do your very best there. It is impossible. How you doing, Piano Man? It is possible to regenerate my body if I do 6 days each week doing fruits and vegetables or grape juice, but I take 1 day off each week. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Do organic meat? Sure, man. That's good. Hey, if you can do 6 days like that and 1 day have your meat, perfect. I'm on the ride with you. I think it's a good way to do it. Absolutely. I don't have any negative thing toward that. Yeah, that's how I tell my patients, because you gotta do it. I mean, a lot of people just can't give up the dead animal side, and that's okay. I don't care. It's just not that big a deal. But do it once a week, or twice a week at best. But when you're detoxifying, you want to do it just that one time a week. Even on a normal lifestyle, I wouldn't have dead animals over a couple of times a week. I think that's plenty. And have your fruits and your vegetables, and you'll live long and be happy with that, But getting a little closer to perfection sometimes is essential. And some of you are suffering pretty bad. And when you eat the meat, it kicks your butt pretty bad. So everybody has a different take on that. So however you choose. But Piano Man, absolutely, I think you'll do well that way. And you're doing it. It's keeping you to do that. So I'm proud of you, man. You just keep it up. Keep it up. A Healing Naturally 039. I love it. On a cold, windy night in Georgia. Yep. Hello, Dr. Morris and friends. My name is Chantal. I'm new to the site. Welcome, my dear one. I have a question for Dr. Morris or anyone that knows. I have a parathyroid weakness, had lots of depression problems. Also have spider veins. Yeah, you hit it right on, dear one. I've been taking a thyroid herbal formula that has kelp, a black walnut, a black cohosh, parsley, myrrh, dulse, poke root in it for 3 months. I don't know if I like that formula, though. It's a general formula. You got kelp in there, which is definitely good for the thyroid. Black walnut hull, black cohosh, a little bit of an estrogenic formula. If you're having too much estrogen problems, you might not want that one. I'm real cautious with black cohosh. A lot of women are parsley. Again, this is almost a formula that's reaching out in several ways, lymphatics and stuff like that. Don't know if it's a real powerful thyroid formula. I think I would do the thyroid cytotrophin or glandular if you want to go that. If not, do the endocrine gland formula, a lot of berries. I've noticed I've been getting some bruises on my legs. I don't like that formula. I'm wondering if when your veins heal or you detox, you can get bruising. No. Matter of fact, as you're getting better, that should stop. You shouldn't still be seeing bruising at all. that should be stopping on you. So I really would probably shift a little more to the Calma Plus or some formula like that, just to pop up that parathyroid. Keep moving on your lymph system, though. Do a lot of the fruits and berries for the flavonoids. That'll strengthen vascular walls. Kelp is a good choice to supplement. Don't overly like that thyroid formula, though. It's not just a thyroid formula, and it's not one I would probably put together like that. The problem is trying to make a formula that's broad ranged and then be specific at the same time loses some of its specific power. That's why we have many formulas, because there's just too many great herbs to do that. And this formula here, no offense to whoever made it, I don't know, but not one I would consider as a real powerful formula for the thyroid. And you're getting bruising. Bruising already tells me it's not very effective on the parathyroid at all. So definitely would probably go that way, especially if this is a chronic problem. I put it this way: I'd rather see you do a glandular and not risk aneurysms than to, not be able to fix that in a timely manner and risk aneurysms. You just don't want to see too much of the bruising easy. That's not a good sign at all. And this can happen in the brain, happen in the heart, it can happen anywhere. It's not just on the legs that the problem is. Veins run head to toe, and everything is systemic. So that's a concern here for you. And so I would, get more focused on that. This is X-Wolf. I don't even know how to pronounce all that. What a heck of a name there, my friend. I was born with eczema in the past. Now look at how many people have skin problems. You see that? And again, the skin, the body's third kidney. So you can see why. Sewage builds up subcutaneously, affects the dermis and epidermis. But that could suggest a low thyroid as well, where you're not getting up enough body temperature to sweat. Again, always suggestive of weak kidneys, so weak adrenal glands, a sluggish lymph system, blah, 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 blah. So, head down that road of lymph drainage. That's all you can do, because you can't topically get a remedy. Obviously, a lot of you that have had these chronic or cystic acne and stuff realize you can't topically find a cure because it's a systemic internal problem, and you can't find a topical cure. You can find topical things that help to kind of take away some of the pain, the intenseness of the acid burn, and that would be nothing but healing salves of botanicals or like fresh aloe, stuff like that. But internally is where you're going to have to do the work. To find remedy on the outside, you have to clean the inside. Didn't I just say that? Oh. See what I'm saying? So to have outward joy, you must find the inward joy and do the inner work. And the inner work is simply being in the now and enjoying the ecstasy of yourself as the reality of your experience, and all the drama, just that, the drama. And a drama is directly related to your desires and your focus. So unfocus and don't have desires, and you'll enjoy every moment for that moment. Let me see here. It was so severe that almost debilitating. I am 47, deadly allergic to fish. I have been tested all my life. I bet they do. We could test you some more, but it'd be better if you just head out and get your lymph system cleaned up. The only relief I get sometimes is with steroids. And see, there you're going to pop and lose your adrenals, and it's going to exacerbate the problem. It's a catch chasing its tail. The more you suppress your adrenals, the less the kidneys filter, the more lymph backs up. It's only a symptom treating focus to make, and in the long run, just makes things a lot worse. My doc is now trying methotrexate. Ow! Stop it already! Stop it! Your doctor's trying. Yeah, it won't work either. It's just, there's nothing working. This methotrexate, nasty stuff. I know it stems from my diet. I just need quick help for something I can start to do now. Use some salves. We have a healing salve. We're probably out of it. It's sold like crazy. My beautiful salve. Look at the difference between my salves and the salves on the market. You know you're getting chemistry when you get my salves. You're getting the herb. And that's what you need, the power of the herb as a topical, but go inside. Get up on this raw food diet fast. Get move those lymphs. Get on the grape fast and stuff, and really get your kidneys and adrenals up, because this is where you're going to need to probably use a glandular. You've taken enough steroids, you're going to keep bumping your adrenals. Pretty soon you're not going to be happy emotionally or any other way. You're going to hit a real emotional low on this because it's all tied with that. So, my friend, you'll be okay, but you got to get refocused to what's causing this problem and address that cause of it. Right now, these guys are just going to lock you deeper into a box you're going to suffer to get out of, and that's what they're doing already. They should have been able to fix you up already, but not their focus. They're treatment-based thinkers. I've discovered that I may be yeast in. Oh, come on. Everybody's got yeast in the gut. Get a parasite in and start cleaning yourself out. Move your lymph. This is a lymphatic problem, not a yeast problem. Of course you're going to have yeast problem. Doctor says, no, my skin, eyes, face, everywhere will itch. No. This is a female. Will itch like a vaginal yeast infection. Honey, you probably have a lot of yeast in there, but you take care of that with the Parasite M. At the same time, you have to move lymph to get that final yeast out of you, but to get this acne out of you, sweetheart, you got to move lymph. You're trying to treat something you can't treat, and you can't cure through any type of treatment whatsoever. You really got to move your lymph system. Pick your adrenal glands up, get your kidneys filtering, sweetie, and you'll be okay. And do the Parasite M. Get on that detox program and get that lymph moving, and you'll be okay. The more you do these things, like steroids and methotrexate and stuff like this, the more you're going to get yourself worse. So you've got to start thinking cause and getting into that lymph system. You're right on. You have yeast involvement, no question. He just doesn't understand that much. But that area of my body does not. It doesn't have to. Those are acids. The pain can overcome the itching. I also know party stress makes my condition worse. Well, because anytime you shut down your adrenal glands, which is what the steroids are going to do, it's going to exacerbate your symptom. Because it has a residual effect of shutting down kidneys, more lymph backing up. It's just a cat chasing its tail. So XWIFX, CHIBICHIX. Head off of there, dear one. Get yourself cleaned up there. Get those lymphs moving, and you'll be pretty good there. I'm only going to cover one more, I think, and then I'm going to have him start putting this up here because, now this is quite a long one, but I love her Serene 996. I am ELA, 28 years old, and this is a spiritually experience and question. I am telling this because all the so-called masters I have met so far did not have much experience and do not understand. Okay, let's find out. One morning while I was sleeping, I went to another place. I was more conscious and awake than ever before. That's definitely an out-of-body experience. You know, when you have these vivid awakenings and you're in a place that's very lucid, you're very aware, you take it for granted that that's really, because it's funny, in these dimensions, the closer you get to pure consciousness, the more real it is, and the more the physical world is just a dream, a very thick, heavy dream. Almost claustrophobic here when you've had some of the higher worlds. You have to kind of get yourself not to think about it, because at times I can get very claustrophobic in my thinking because it's so materialistic here. It's suffocating sometimes. Okay. I was conscious and awake. Absolutely. Real was incredible. I had a beautiful body, but I could feel every cell in it, and I could think with all the cells at once. Woo-hoo! Well, you had to be either astral or causal. Those are the next two planes on top or wrapped around us. Your next finer dimension that you have a body here is your astral body or your emotional body. When you leave the physical body, generally you withdraw your attention from the physical body, and you'll feel the movement like you're traveling into your astral body. That's where you'll see your loved ones. You'll see those that have passed from the physical world still playing out their dramas. You'll see not a lot of differences. Just things are so much more beautiful. Colors are so much more intense, and more colors to be seen. And that's true with each time you withdraw your attention from one body to another body. And very real, very lucid experiences. Absolutely. Let me see. the way this body felt was more real than the one I have now. Absolutely. Well, you were more at the original design. You could have been in the causal world, which is where all of everything takes place in terms of form that we experience astrally and we experience here, and on the causal world. When you leave the causal world, you're in pure mind, and that's cosmic consciousness or Christ consciousness. There is no more form. You're formless. But your first form takes place in the causal world. That's where you really see the Trinity start. That's where you see it in both Hinduism, Buddhism, all of that. You'll see that's when the Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, all these areas of God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, all these come in duality where separation of consciousness exists, and you see states of consciousness. Absolutely. I had a great experience here. Absolutely. The degree of reality was amazing, could change everything just by observing it and could feel nothing. Causal world, I'm sure. Everything I could change the color of the sky, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I was just having a conversation, I don't know if it was Dimitri or with someone about that, but you get to Paul Twitchell's books, I can't remember which one he talks about, where, the whole idea, obviously, is to let creation buff you to where when you now are the creator, you can control your worlds. Because let me tell you, you have to learn not to allow the negative forces. To have your own. You are bumping universes here, but I can take you to a place where you're only bumping your own universe, and that's where it gets intense. Kind of like what you're experiencing here, honey. Yeah, new colors I've never seen before. Oh, there's lots of them I've never seen before. I was at the 1,000-petal lotus, and it was just a buzz to be there, and it just colors you've just never ever seen here. Just an immense amount of beauty and joy and ecstasy. Enough people have these out-of-body travels and awaken in other bodies. It'll be enough to change the world more. But the world has to be somewhat unconscious to keep it moving, because no one would, pretty solidified area here. Could feel everything as I was a part of everything, because you are a part of everything. We only isolate ourselves here. The further down the totem pole of creation, figuratively speaking, of course, the more isolated you become, absolutely. And when you start to awaken inwardly, you feel that isolation, because you know you're the Godhead. You have to be the head. You have to be the source, or you're always the seeker. And the seeker can't get out of creation because it isolates you from yourself. So you see what I'm saying? With some new color I never saw before, and also felt even atom of the sky as I was a living part of myself. The excitement was getting so big, and the intensity of the feelings that I thought I was so high I could not cope with them for too long, and I felt crashing down into this plane. Absolutely. Fun of it all. I told you about my first one where yanked me out of my body, threw me up into the causal world, springed all my past life. When I say I was old the other day, you don't know how long I've been here, do you? Yeah, and how many times have I been here? Yeah, this happens all the time, sweetheart. Your capacity to awaken, unfortunately, is almost like detoxification. It's a process, because it's been a step down process to get you to here, and it's a releasing process to get you back. Figuratively speaking, when we're looking at duality, that's why you must always work from the now anyway, because there's no getting back to that. That exists, and that's all you can say about it. You can't get beyond that. you were working yourself to that perception. And that's what these inner worlds, I may use that terminology, but that's what these finer worlds are all about. Cosmic consciousness, this is like a cosmic consciousness experience. But to me, you had that in the high causal world, where you still identified with the body and the cells, because each cell has its own state of consciousness. Sorry. As I've said, your body's full of little people. 100 trillion little people make up your body with their own state of consciousness. So you'll see the whole thing. Everything is an individual, yet it's all part of the one. Isn't that beautiful? Like the shattered mirror. Oh, a shattered mirror is just little pieces of the same mirror. Better way to look at it. I felt crashing down to this plane. As I was awakening into this plane, I went to a lot of colors. They were live, and I could feel and hear them as sound vibrations. It was amazing. I immediately tried to get back and succeeded. But again, crashed back down anyway. That's okay. You're developing. That will give you, that experience will give you a place to go to now, because you'll know how to go there, how to be there. So you got to realize you're the attention. You're just looking through these bodies, and you just keep withdrawing it at different levels until you're in the now. Well, you can be in the now and be in the soul levels, and at the same time see through the shades of the bodies. That's what you should work on, in my opinion. It's what I'm working on. Was this an experience of another plane? Absolutely. Although, guess it was. Yeah, it was. And the causal one, as far as I'm concerned, when you leave the causal, the next experience will be cosmic consciousness. Even the causal is a nirvanic experience, but cosmic consciousness, intense. You think that was intense, sweetheart. Get to cosmic consciousness. Extremely intense. This is where everything becomes one and individual at the same time. So, and that's still nothing compared to soul consciousness, to pure consciousness. But boy, didn't you enjoy the beauty, the excitement, the elevation, the oneness that you were starting to perceive of all life? Oh, absolutely. These are the experiences you look for. And yes, you want to get back to them. But this body calls, absolutely. But don't worry about it. Just relax. Keep being in the now. Keep letting go of these outer worlds, because there's nothing in it. That was a great experience, wasn't it? If you have too many of those, you won't want to come back here. I'm telling you. It's just the way it is. Ask any out-of-body traveler. You've got to be really committed. And, of course, I agreed to come here. I admit it. But I'm going to do my thing. But then I'm gone, just like every one of us. We'll do the thing in this level of the illusion, if you will, and then we're going to be out of here. Love your experience. Had many of them, definitely. Remember, you have different bodies. Now, it shouldn't be too foreign to religious thinkers, because you have a mind, not physical. You have emotions. It's a non-physical experience, and it is not a stretch to understand that we have multiple bodies around us. It would explain why there's ghosts. It would explain a little more of what is considered the unknown. The unknown can be known if you shed light on it. You turn on the light, and turning on the light for you is putting your attention on it. Your attention is your light. That is you. And so out-of-body traveling to another, or what we call traveling, is simply the shift of your attention from one body to another, or from one experience to another experience. And there's endless amounts of them in creation. This is the butt end of the donkey's hiney when it comes to the universe and experiences. But it is what it is. And you just had a much greater one. Good stuff. You should be very comforted with this. This is your awakening. And this is the process of awakening and traveling. I love it. I constantly love that. I mean, this is what you're doing. It'll change as you become more in the now, because you become the central consciousness figure. It's no more about traveling. There's nowhere to go. But till then, it is a perceived traveling experience and an awakening experience. Good job, sweetheart. I can't imagine if you talked to a master who wouldn't tell you that. Wasn't a master then. That's for sure. Several days after I was confused because of the reality did not seem so real anymore. It's there, though, and you know it, and you can't shake it. And you'll never be able to shake it, because that's your chain. That's your magnet to pull you back. Okay? The other one was a lot more real. I was kind of asking myself,
You might have 11:30 call in,
who's that?
Roxy.
Roxy? Roxy? No, that's not an important call. She knows how to take care of herself.
She wanted some time with you.
I know, but I haven't done these for 2 weeks, so. Roxy, if you're watching this, Roxy, you know what the gig is. Come on, Roxy. Several days after I was confused because this really did not seem so real anymore, the other one was a lot more real. I love this. I understand. And this her experience here is what all of you will experience. These are you each have all these bodies simultaneously. You can't be soul and have a physical body and go from soul consciousness to the physical body. Impossible. That's why you have these other wrappings or bodies or cloaks around you. Not difficult. Shouldn't offend any religious thinker that we have other bodies. If you don't think too big, you're kind of insulting the Supreme Being, wouldn't you think? I mean, we're talking Supreme Being, not in Supreme as separate, but in the ability to produce endless amounts of experiences, some nirvanic and some very pain. That's a duality of creation. You've got the tears and the rips and the pulls and the suffering, and then you have the ecstasies and the joys of the understood or perceived consciousness of oneness. You start to see reality of creation a little more, and that's all you're doing is you're seeing more of what really is, sweetheart. And the more real it becomes, the more ecstasy and joy. I'm always fed that. I dwell in that consciousness. When I get mad or get pulled outside of that, I kick my butt. Man, just took me, got me. Things are going to always get you, like having a piece of meat one time a week. So what? But pull yourself out of it each time. Let's see. Here we learn to understand reality through the ego, and these kinds of experiences crashes the ego and gets us scared, doesn't it? One time I felt like I was dying, then I understood that I was not me who was dying. It was the ego. The panic of death was so damn real, but I was just watching it all happen. You sound like a lady I'd like to get to know. Man, I like women like this. Because I got, well, no offense, it's just because it's hard to have conversations with people that haven't had out-of-body experiences, had good experiences like this. It really matures you and tones you and brings you in quite of awareness of the God state in its pieces. So I love this sort of stuff. But don't get depressed if you don't have these kind of experiences. You're just not remembering them and realizing them. The more you let go, and as I was saying this earlier, the less you care for this world, the more you care about and the more you awaken into the higher levels. And this is just a higher level. And you just had your attention in these levels. Very real at that level. But the experiencer is the reality. You, the experiencer, you're getting closer to it and closer to it. Good stuff. I love it. Because I got so confused, I did not have the intention or desire to go to other places. This kind of experience did not happen anymore. Oh. Yeah, well, get your joy back and go after them again. This is the real you coming out now. You're hiding from that now. Don't be scared about nothing. You know, we do, and you bring up an excellent point here, sweetheart. We hang on to this world as our little thumb sucker. We hold this world as our security, and it is nothing. It's our suffering. It's why we suffer. It's our restriction. It's our limitation. It's our closer. It's our box without windows. So opening yourself up to these higher experiences. And this is just your body. This is, for me, the experience was in the causal world. You were seeing your causal body. You were seeing the cells. You were seeing all these things as they go down through. Then they hit the astral plane, and then they hit the physical world. And it's just a part of that. Yes? this is really a good experience here. I love this. The ego does not take responsibility. Oh, of course not. The id, no, me. It's judgment. It's backbiting, gossiping, anger, all of this. Id, ego, me. No, throw that away in the corner. You're always going to have the me as separate from you when you're in creation. But the higher in creation you get, and I can use that figuratively maybe, the more you become the all and the one, and the more the ego is tempered. And then it's letting go of the ego totally to become yourself. And you could hang for months or years in a no-fly zone where you don't know what's up. You don't have any direction. You don't have any desire. There's nothing. That's the first step into you realizing that it's only you, and you have to be happy and see the oneness of all life. I've had a lot of these experiences like you did, sweetheart. These are great experiences, and please keep on doing this. Keep going with those experiences. Lots of love and big hugs, and I'm going to say the very same thing to you. That is a beautiful way to close this today. I'm sorry I have to cut off early, but I love to spend time with all of you. I just get great joy. You're all helping to bring out my spirituality. I kind of set it aside because it's so involved in people's health issues that sometimes you've got to be it. You can't set things like that aside, but I'm pulled so much into this physical world, and experiences like this sometimes remind me of some of those higher experiences, even though I always try to dwell in the ever-presence of consciousness. But I remember my journey, and this is a good one, dear one. I can't imagine why any master couldn't answer that one for you. Wasn't talking to true masters, were you now? So you have fun on this journey. I'll always be here to help you on your journey, by the way. And you just look around in some of these places, you might even see someone you know. So have fun. I love you all, and I hope we can get this up in a timely manner, but I have to now go through and write all this down and before I can see someone. So love you all. We'll see you later, and have fun today. Get your joy today, and have some travels. Use these experiences like this dear one to propel yourself. Start changing what you want to experience, and if you have to go within to get out, go within to get out. Right? Have a lovely day. Blessings be. Bye-bye.